teams into the country. The quake, which struck central regions, has left thousands injured and caused widespread destruction. In Russia, supermarkets have begun selling North Korean apples, signaling a strengthening of trade relations between the two nations. This development comes despite existing United Nations sanctions aimed at curbing North Korea's economic activities. In Istanbul, massive protests have erupted following the detention of Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu on charges of corruption and terrorism. Thousands have taken to the streets demanding his release and accusing the government of political motivations. Economists are expressing concern over significant federal funding cuts that threaten the quality of U.S. economic data. Reports indicate that reductions in workforce and research funding could compromise critical statistics such as employment figures.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee, and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
No, he's not. All right, we'll see about that.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
What's going on here? Oh. You tune into the O program. Tomorrow we'll have X and O. You know, not when I say X, I don't mean that. That will never be X. Good morning, folks. We're going to see if that turns up by itself, but I'm assuming it will. It's Monday. It's March 31st. Is it 31st? Yes. So tomorrow's April Fool's Day, if you believe that. Or is that just a hoax? We'll find out. Anyway, good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Beautiful. It's spring-like. Spring-like. Not spring. Well, it is spring. Spring-like. No wonder it's spring-like. It's spring. Duh. Things are going all right, right? Things are going. The world is going good. America's doing fine. The world is doing fine, right? Maybe. Just saying facts you don't like a fall with a strap, to be. The future of the Trump and what? This guy telling me. Somebody on Twitter is just telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do know what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyway, what he's replying to is Charlie Kirk saying there are no starving children. Show me one starving child in America. Fact is, I brought up that in 2018, 9,000 some odd children, 9,800, something like that, died of malnutrition. By 2022, that number was up to about 24,000 children in America dying of malnutrition. We're on a pace this year to hit 30,000. So, yeah, kids are dying of starvation, malnutrition. Another 7.2 million children live in what is called food insecure households, meaning they sometimes go hungry at night. Food insecure is just another ridiculous way of politically correct way of saying hungry kids. Anyway, so Charlie says, "Show me one." I show him thousands, millions, probably, and no, that's just false. Well, it's just all fake. If things don't go your way, if the facts don't support your argument, just call them fake. Anyway, so we continue on. I had an interesting weekend. On Saturday, I had an outdoor paint party in Jamaica, man. Um, and Jamaica, Queens. But it happened to be for people who were Jamaican. Yes, that's true. Jamaicans from Jamaica. Go figure. Um, it was 78 degrees out in March, which is not all that usual for March. 78 degrees, it was like summer. And then yesterday it was back to low 40s. So that's March for you on Long Island, New York. You can have spring, summer, winter, all in like a day and a half. But I'll probably talk about the experience later. It was fun to be outdoors, but a little windy, paint's flying all over the place. People, and it's a little tricky. People not wearing their aprons because they don't want to wear. I don't want to feel effeminate by wearing a, not me. As some of the people saying, it's kind of femmy. What do you mean, femmy, to wear an apron? Well, I'm not worried about my clothes. And then the paints blow up in the wind, and no, you're complaining about your clothes. I told you to wear an apron. Anyway, did they wear bras? Stephen says, "Good morning, Stephen." Stephen is not with us today. He's with us, but he's not with us. He's over there in the chat room. By the way, today, and we have this is going to be a very short week, or a very empty week, not necessarily short. Susan Powder, Stop the Insanity. I don't know if you remember her. 1990, she had a television show. It was kind of a exercise show with, she was very fit, short blonde hair. I mean, whatever you call it, crew cut blonde hair. Tough girl, tough woman, fit. You can bounce a quarter off her belly. Why would you do that? I don't know, but you could do it if you wanted to do it. Anyway, she's scheduled here, but she's not going to be here. Got an email from her publicist saying there was a snag on our end. And I'm thinking, I don't know this for a fact. He said they were rescheduled. There was a snag on his end. And I'm thinking, she probably said, get me on she wanted to be on Joe Rogan. And he came back with, I got you on Coffee with the Dog tomorrow. And she said, what the fuck is that? And then she saw a sample of what we do. And she said, get me the fuck off of that. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, so she's not here. And tomorrow we have nobody here. And then Wednesday we have nobody here. Thursday, I booked the wrong guy. So I moved him back till next week. So we have nobody here. And Friday, we have the Beaver Man, John Beavers from Slaptail Comedy. So it's a long, short week of nothing. I can't talk, and we can't. There will be no entertainment value this week. Well, until Friday. I'm sure Slaptail probably want to insult me, say some derogatory things about me, and that will be mildly entertaining, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, we'll get right to it. We'll bring in GD and Ron, and we'll just look at each other and like complain about what the fuck are we doing here. This show is going off the rails so quick. We didn't. If you tuned in Friday expecting a show, you saw 2 episodes of. If you got through one of the evening program, that I thought, well, because they were there and they didn't have to upload them, and I thought nobody ever fucking sees that show anymore anyway. It was a day when people saw that show. So I replayed a couple of recent evening shows. So we weren't here Friday. We didn't have a guest. Noticing a trend here, right? Anyway, the reason we don't have any guesses because everybody is hooked on ketamine and having psychosis, which we'll probably talk about after this.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me right now, Stephen Ortiz. Oh, no, he's not there. I thought maybe he was hiding in the cup of coffee. Ron Kane and the fabulous and sexy Gigi Fenderson. Good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Did you write a totally different script and then find out that the guest you wrote the script about didn't show up, and so the script doesn't make sense because the guest isn't here?
I
Never
did.
happened to me either. Nope, never happened. At any rate, MindDogTV.com. Buy shit, get shit, enjoy shit at MindDogTV.com.
Take a
Enjoy
shit.
yourself.
The new, I don't know, a cool way to say you have to take a shit is I got to log in the fire.
What I call schlong division.
I got to log in the fireplace. That's, I didn't know this. This is what I'm finding out. That means I got to take a shit. I got to log in the fireplace.
I don't think anyone says that. Maybe at Christmas you could roll it out. But...
It's not a Yule log. Nobody's going to be sitting around it singing Christmas carols. I don't know.
I learned a new expression that I did not know that there's a class of white people who stopped saying the N-word, nigger, and they substituted it with Newport, as in the cigarettes. I did not know that. I learned that on Friday. Newports, like the cigarette.
I didn't even know Newport was still a thing. I would rather call you a Pall Mall because that's more intelligent. Well, and now I've heard people say Pell Mell, even though it's Pallmall.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Cigarette people, get your shit right.
Oh, do we still have Tuesday morning open, right? Tuesday or Wednesday morning?
Yeah. There's now we got just Friday, John Bieber's, and I'm looking for. I've never seen a fresh Bieber.
Well, I talked to Josh this morning, and he'd like to come on like Tuesday or Wednesday morning.
All right, so, let him pick one, and we'll send him a link.
Okay.
Josh DeWay. Now, Josh DeWay, is he Jamaican?
He is not Jamaican.
What's DeWay? What's the?
He'd have to get into it, but he is he's part Liberian.
Oh, Liberian. So he's not.
So he can read. He must be really good at the Dewey Decimal System then.
Oh, Dewey, you say? Ew, that's a little Dewey, that decimal system. Dewey, because I went into this. I went into Jamaica to do a paint party, and the guy whose birthday boy was sitting there with a little dog on his lap, and the dog was going crazy, barking at me. He said, "You don't like white people, man." And then he let the dog go, and the dog was like wanting to fuck my leg or something. And I picked him up, and the dog was.
I don't blame it. Once people, you cannot blame the dog. Once you've seen Matt's leg, you just want to hump it.
Yeah, no, there was no blame. I get it. I sexy legs. There's no doubt about it.
Leg, one leg. There's only the other leg.
The right one.
Yeah, the other leg I could go without humping, but
I'm donating that one to Steve. I'm going to donate that one to Steven. But the dog was affectionate. I picked him up and he was licking me and all. I said, "I thought you said you don't like people." He's like, "Never seen that before, man." So I guess I'm the exception. I'm the one white guy the dog will let in the yard. So it was just to me. I thought it was strange to go to Jamaica, Queens, and see real live Jamaicans there, and nobody else seemed. Oh, you're just being racist. Wait, no, I'm just making an observation that usually you could see black people, but not Jamaicans, or you could see white people, and they could be wops or mixed, and
not Queens. You can see white people and not Queens. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, you see no Queens. No Queens there.
No
Great people.
Queens? Really? Was it their
No
day
Queens.
off? Because I can't.
No Queens and Queens. No, they all go to Brooklyn, to be honest with you. I mean, Brooklyn is the cooler borough. I'm sorry, Queens, but it's true. Brooklyn is where it's happening. It's where all the comedy is, where all the music is, it's where all the film is. And Queens, well, Astoria has a little cluster of comedians. Joe List's little clique, Mark Norman's little clique, that in Astoria, Queens. But other than that, Brooklyn's the place to be. So, 78 degrees, hot, and then yesterday, 38 degrees. No Queens in Brooklyn. No Queens till Brooklyn. All right. Is that Dave Landau in our chat room? Oh no, it's Steven. It should have known.
Well, we'll be able to talk to Josh about he's making his move to LA this week, so we'll have plenty to talk about.
Does he?
So he's coming to borrow money for gas. Is that it?
He might need
it. Does he have arrangements, or is he one of these guys who's just moving like?
No,
packing up the car.
He's got arrangements, and but some things have happened here and there, and I don't want to ruin it. But
oh, big things for Josh.
So he's just going through a little upheaval right now because he's making that move. But he's got a big gig happening this Friday. So
oh fuck, I forgot to do something yesterday. You just reminded me. Thinking about things moving up in the comedy world. I was supposed to do some stuff for Abby at Sticks and Stones. Abby, if you're listening, I'm a dick. I forgot, but I'll make it right today and tomorrow, and we'll get that stuff done. Some opportunities will be opening up at Sticks and Stones that you guys might want to be a part of, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's not going to happen if I keep being a dick and forgetting to do.
Okay, well then it's not going to happen because I don't know if you can stop being a dick.
I think I can. At least for a day. You don't even give me a credit for being able to stop for one day or a day and a half, or whatever.
That was an XTC song, "Dick for a Day," wasn't it?
Just for a day. I don't know.
Matt, I do have a question. Are you intending on growing the beard fully out, or are you just going for the stubble look? And two, is like mine when it gets to that phase, it itches like crazy, and I'm just like.
This is past the itchy stage. It was that way Friday and Saturday a little bit, but it's past that now. I'm beyond. I don't know. I kind of thinking I should let it grow in and then paint it black. Paint it.
Oh, that's the Rolling Stones song. Yeah. I see a white beard and I want to paint it black.
Red car.
It's a white beard.
So I don't know yet. At this point, it's because my wife bought me cheap razor blades, and cheap razor blades are not for shaving heads or even faces. They'll just cut me up. I'll look like Rocky at the end of the fight there, like all bloodied up, and even my nose will get broke somehow because of cheap blades. So until I get good blades, I'm not shaving. It's a protest thing. So I got to compliment. Well, I don't know, compliment you or just ask what the hell will happen. Friday you were on Tom Myers, and I noticed the background and your image was sharper than it's ever been. You looked. I mean, the look was really, really good. I mean, crisp. The colors were perfect, and your background there looks pretty good. But and you know, what happened? Did you get a new camera? Did you get a new green screen? What the fuck happened?
Nothing changed. The lighting in the room hasn't changed. They didn't even change position. The lights have been in the same position for 2 months. As a matter of fact, I don't even move them to dust. I dust around them. I don't even. Yeah.
Wow.
And the curtains, nothing. I don't even have curtains. My blinds are still down in the same spot. Nothing has changed. Not one single solitary thing.
That's really odd. Like the entire look is not. It's gotten sharper and crisper and cleaner. Like
none of my settings have changed.
He didn't have a green aura around him Friday morning, which is weird because I watched some of his past shows and he's always had the green aura around him, and then it wasn't there. Is he related to Tucker Carlson? Do you know?
Because of the laugh?
No, not because of the laugh. I mean, I thought politically he was no, yeah, it's because of the laugh. No, I don't
It's,
know. Has anybody ever said anything to him?
we'll find out after all of the 23andMe data is leaked to the public. Find out who's related to who.
The reason why most men are rough fuckers.
Has anybody ever like mentioned the laugh to him? I think I'd have to, like, dude.
I'm sure people have mentioned it to him.
And then I would never laugh. If somebody mentioned to me, like, your laugh sounds like you're ready to fucking cut somebody's dick off and shove it down their throat or something like that.
Here's something I've been curious about for many years is when do people decide on the laugh that they have as an adult? Because if you listen to when babies laugh, most of the time babies have full out belly laughs, and almost most babies laugh the same. Okay, but by the time they get to a certain age, they settle in on a different laugh. Okay, it's not the full belly laugh, maybe it's the tee hee hee, or something like that. But their laughs evolve, and I'm wondering what causes that laugh to evolve, and what makes you stop
to that high pitched. That I don't know. Tom Seaver used to do that, and Tucker Carlson and Tom Myers, and that's the only three people I ever known. Well, for the most part, to do that high pitched. I don't want to sound like I'm putting Tom down or insulting him, but I guess it's coming off that way. But I don't get where that comes from. It's like somebody tickling your vagina. What the hell?
Now, my uncle, one of my late uncles, my Uncle Hudson. This is the way he used to laugh. Chick, chick, chick, chick, chick, chick, chick.
I like that. He's like a time bomb.
Yeah, it's like, hey, go chick, chick, chick, chick, chick, chick, chick. And
I would run away because you never know. He could just blow up.
I've never heard anybody else in my entire life laugh like that. And that was what made me wonder, when do people pick the laugh? Because as a child, I was around other children, and children had a totally different laugh. And I used to hear, but adults didn't laugh like children.
You think it's a conscious pick? Like, I'm thinking about what's my laugh going to sound like? I'm going to go to the laugh store.
I don't know. I don't know that it's, in some instances, I guess it could be conscious. But for the most part, the way we laugh and the way we talk, the way we breathe is a reflection of the way we feel emotionally. Like people who talk from the throat, people who talk from the gut, people who talk from the nose. That's usually an indication of something that they feel. How deep they feel it or whatever, I'm not sure. Or what they're holding back or what they're willing to let out. But the laughter.
Well, I'm thinking about with me. I don't remember ever making that choice, and I don't even. I gotta.
Well, and again, maybe not everything is a conscious choice. I mean, like I know when I was young, I used to have a really great laugh as a child. People used to always talk about and then I had the skating accident and I messed up my teeth. And so in order to laugh like I used to laugh, I had to open my mouth. I didn't want to open my mouth because I didn't want anybody to see my teeth. And so my laugh became like like that because I was trying to hide my teeth, And if I had a full laugh, if I knew a full laugh was coming, I would turn my head and cover my mouth.
Can you just do your laugh one more time?
Which one?
The one you just did. See, that makes me laugh. I was gonna say, too bad we didn't have somebody here who could make me laugh so I could see what my laugh is like. But I guess I have a couple of different laughs there because both of them were a little different. Second time is always a little softer than the first anyway.
Yeah, and my wife, my wife says I have 3 different laughs. And she says, and it's really apparent, she says it's more noticeable when I'm at a comedy show. And she says I have the full out, that was really funny laugh. Then I have the, I'm trying to be supportive of a friend laugh.
That for me, here's that I'm trying to be supportive of a friend laugh. That was all right.
That also sounds like your other laugh. That was fun. That sounds like that's a funny laugh too.
Yeah. I want to share with you something about ketamine, because Ron Filipakowski dug this up. It's about the effects of ketamine related to Elmo. of course. Let me
Now,
see.
you might as well tell people that is actually Ron Kane's given name, so you don't confuse people.
Phil Bukowski?
Yeah, that's his actual real name.
Depression and anxiety at high doses. Ketamine may cause psychosis, a mental illness that causes a person to lose touch with reality. Frequent recreational ketamine can lead to delusions that can last up to 1 month after a person stops using it.
Now, pussy. I'm assuming that those two footnotes, 13 and 14, is where the words Elon and Musk goes.
I don't know. You probably got that from Wikipedia, right?
I don't know.
See that. That's a wiki thing.
That's
but it's just that explains a lot, because if you see Musk, he is definitely in interviews lately. He's been doing a lot of them. He is just out of touch with fucking reality. I mean, one day he's talking about how empathy is a terrible thing, and then the next day, I thought the Democrats were the party of empathy. Why is everybody laughing at my pain? Like, dude, did you just?
I'm laughing because as you were saying that, I was seeing this headline. It says Kanye West says he regrets getting Kim Kardashian pregnant. That was my fault.
Wow. Wow.
Nice quote. That was my fault.
That was my fault. Did you see where he was with?
Are we going to address the fact that our guest that was supposed to have been on Wednesday has passed away? Richard Chamberlain. He was supposed to have been our guest on Wednesday, and he's dead. He died.
Oh, he's dead? You know what?
Rise up.
I was wondering why all of a sudden I was seeing pictures of him. I kind of now for most of the audience, I'm sure Steven doesn't know who the fuck that is. Dr. Kildare, the Count of Monte Cristo, and whatever. But I would have thought he would have died a long time ago. He's what was he? 99, 100, 99.
Yeah, he also
90. Yeah, he was 90. Yesterday. Yep, broke yesterday.
He also had that those movies that they do like over 6 or 7 episodes. What's the miniseries? Thornbirds. He was in the Thornbirds.
Oh,
he was the sexy priest.
I remember back in the day. My mom, I think, had a thing for him.
Yeah, a lot of women did it, especially after the Thornbirds.
Pictures I noticed from like the 60s. He was buff, and this is before like guys were discovered there was a weight room. You never saw actors who were buff, but there was one picture. It was looking like, I don't know, like a little Bruce Lee cut. You know, he had the arms, he had the 6-pack, he had the pecs. I was like, what the hell? This is before guys did that.
Maybe he was in martial arts. Maybe he was in martial arts, because most of them ones that were like that were in some kind of extracurriculum self-defense thing. Like, I hear Bruce Lee was into. I'm not sure what he did, but apparently
you think Bruce Lee was into martial arts? I don't know.
I think I'm not that or ketamine. I'm not sure which. I think ketamine is actually.
Apparently, Richard Chamberlain came out as gay at the age of 68. Revealing.
Yeah, I was going to. The other thing I was going to say is that sometimes they are just gay. Like in the case of Rock Hudson, they're. I don't know what about being gay in the 60s and 70s made you buff, as opposed to being straight and not being buff. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't. But he's got a quote here from his book. So when you grow up, this makes sense. When you grow up in the 30s, 40s, and 50s being gay, it's not only ain't easy, it's just impossible.
Well, see, the whole out thing, because like he brought up Rock Hudson, and everybody knew he was gay, but people agreed to keep it secret. Like, so he was out, but not out. Like out to the people who knew him, but not to America.
They also did the same thing with Liberace, which really makes no one could pick up on it.
Whoa,
yeah, Liberace's out here crushing all this pussy.
Shocker. But I can't wrap my head around 68 or like, because Julia Scotti, who was on the program, who hates me now, so for whatever reason, I don't know, had a sex change at like 65 or something like that. And it's like, what's the fucking point, man? It's over for you. Just lay down and forget. Your sex life died. Let's have a funeral for anything sexual and just go on, counting the moments till you die. You're 65. Come on. Having a sex change. She was Rick Scotty, and then at 65, 66, she's Julia Scotty. Like, well, you're not going to get any dudes. You're an old woman.
Maybe they already had the dude that they wanted, or maybe there's not all of our parts aged at the same rate. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe she thought that part was a little bit old, and they wanted a new one to start fresh.
Well, she went from a guy who looked not 60 to a woman who looks 80. That's not. I mean, you don't see a lot of 80-year-old broads, and I did say broads because I hang out with Frank Sinatra on the weekends. I don't know if you know this about me. I don't know if you know, but white-haired little old lady. I mean, what's the point? I don't
want to bet
that
if she started a OnlyFans page, she'd be killing it.
She's still friend. Well, I opened up by saying she hates me, and I don't know why. Well, that's why, because I don't understand. I understand. Listen, I'm fine with it. You do whatever you want. You fine, whatever. It's your life.
I don't think you not understanding makes people hate you, because I understand you and I hate you. So I don't think you're making a good connection.
If I didn't understand you, maybe that's why you hate me. It's not you understanding me. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
But listen, she could be. It's not the trans thing; it's the age thing that has me crazy. Like, why? You're too old. Forget about it. You got no. Even if you, I don't know, you got nothing. Stop.
Okay, here's my question for her then, because this is the one thing the pattern I've noticed among.
Where can you sign up for the I Hate Matt Club? Is that the question?
No. I've noticed a lot of guys before they transition, when they're first starting to trying to look like a woman, and they're using makeup. It's like they don't have any knowledge of how makeup works, and so most of the time they make themselves look really hideous while they're looking for their look. I'm thinking there should be like a course that they can take. I think because if you're going to be out and open and say I'm going to express myself, do it in a way that flatters your features. Okay, I've watched this time and time again.
Classic insult to women who do their makeup wrong. Your makeup looks like I did it.
So I'm just saying that if you're going to express yourself like that, take a course on how makeup works. If you're going, because you're going to be out. I mean, obviously you're going to be out in public. Why not take that time and learn how to apply the makeup? Because that will also cut down on the amount of time it takes for people to. Well, let's put it this way: they may not want to tease you because you're outing yourself, but they sure as hell will tease you because your makeup looks like shit.
That's right. So right now we are offering a course at minddogtv.com/ I'm not going to say it, but a beginner's course for transitioning male to female on how to paint your makeup. And it will look like it looked basically like a Bob Ross landscape, but that's the best we could do on short notice. 1995.
We call it drink and drag.
Vagina.
Now I have a friend's son who is now his daughter who transitioned, and he was a manly young man. He was a drummer, muscles, beard. And then he got this girlfriend who decided to dress him up and put makeup on him, shave his beard. And it just got progressive. And all of a sudden, 2 years later, he's now Valerie. And so, but he's had this girlfriend, and I think she's still with him. I think they're like a lesbian couple now. But she was that makeup coach, that femininity coach.
Right.
From his father kind of tried, because a lot of the Rockin' 45's people very transphobic, very homophobic. So he was trying to keep it, like, oh, he's just playing, he's just kidding. But at one point, it became undeniable when he started growing his hair, wearing dresses, and all that stuff, and coming out to shows. It's really uncomfortable for the father, but he's not doing the Elon thing. My kid is dead. My son is dead. Shit, that is just like. And I tried. This is a conversation I was having with Scaramucci when he was talking about. We lost Elon. He was a. When is we lost? Scaramucci was never on the left, but he was saying that Elon was a Democrat and a liberal, and you lost him because you went too woke. It's like, no, he was never a liberal. Right. Anybody who. A decent person, regardless of political ideology, a decent person would never dead name their child because of a sex change or because they found out they were gay or anything like that. You don't abandon your child, even if you think they're really strongly that they've lost their way. You don't abandon your child. You stay with them and you try to do the best you can to try to help them through whatever they're going through. You don't just fucking call them dead to me and that's it with your own kid. So fuck Elon. He was never a good guy. Nobody wants him on their team. And just because he had he bought an EV company does not make him a liberal. That makes him a capitalist. He thought liberals were going to be buying the product. That's what he thought.
Yeah, Ron, I have a question for you, not for Matt, because I know Matt's answer. He would shoot the person. I was at a comedy thing, and there was a guy of gayness who was giving me tips on how to look more attractive. And everything he was telling me about being more attractive was things he was telling me to make me more attractive to him. He was like, I would like you better if your hair was shorter. And I would like you better if you got rid of some of that gray. And I would like you better if, and I'm like, thank you, but I like me the way I look now, because if I start maintaining the gray, let's say I got rid of the gray and I made it a little bit darker, I have to maintain it, which means that costs money. In the month that I don't have the extra money, it's going to go away, So have you had that?
Not even just the money. It's the actual effort you have to go out to get the stuff. Because I have slacked off, and then we have Ian in the chat room. Look how white that mustache is. It's effort, man.
The best stuff I found is like, especially if you have like just getting that shit that just adds a little dye to your hair. It's almost like a shampoo, because then you don't at least get the like devil look where you're the guy that's got like pitch black hair and like
That's Mikey. Mikey is my age or close to my age, a year younger than me, but his hair is jet black because he dyes it. And it's just like it's way darker than my mustache has ever been. But the hair, I would never. I don't know. I say I would never, but I might be able to be talked into it.
Ron, my actual question was, because you're in comedy like I am, have you had a person of gayness approach you and try to fix your look so that you'd be more attractive to the gay guy?
No, I don't think so.
So you're perfect. So you're perfect the way you are. They love you the way you are. Then they love you the way you are.
Are you insulted by GD saying because you're in comedy like I am?
No.
I would be insulted by that. I would be highly insulted.
I didn't say he did comedy like I do. I said he is in it like I'm in it.
Like I am. Now, why is that?
Obviously, he's more prolific. He does more. He's out there performing more than I am.
Oh, that what prolific means? Thank you for saving me.
I went to a mixed. I went to a mixed mic last night, and I was the only comedian, and that was a good time.
A good time. I miss those days.
Why do you think that gay guy trying to rework your look is exclusive to comedy? Because I've had that done to me several times.
Well, I don't think it's exclusive to comedy. It's just that I don't go out that often to where people are going to be able to interact with me. If I'm out in public, it's either I'm doing comedy, I'm getting my hair done, or I'm grocery shopping.
Do you think that this person looked at you and thought, he's a possible convert, I could work on this guy, and that's why he's trying to change your look?
I think he sounds like any guy. Like if it was a woman or a man, it just sounds like a guy taking a shot. That's all it sounds like.
Just taking a shot. All right.
Mannequin pussy.
I'm sure that's not what he was thinking when he saw me.
Man, I am getting tons of love and hate on Twitter all at once. It's a little disconcerting. A guy.
I'm not sure if anyone's seen SNL this weekend, but there's some controversy because of Morgan Wallen walking off stage.
Did you say it Wallen?
Yeah, Wallen.
I always thought it was Wellen. I've been saying Wellen for 2 years since I've known about this dude.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe to his fans it matters, but maybe to him it probably matters.
Yeah. Is he like? He was invited on the show before, and then they rescinded the invitation. Is he like some kind of redneck far right wing guy?
Yeah. Well, back in 2020, he was supposed to appear on the show, and that was during the COVID shit. And he had an issue with being vaccinated, and then he didn't want to do the show. But then they got it straightened out. Then he come back a few weeks later, and it was just weird. And there's still like contention there. Then he came back this past weekend. He did his songs, but what's got everyone like confused is at the end, where they bring the host out and the cast, and everyone's standing on stage. He looked at they have them all there, and he looks at the host. He whispers something to her. Then he just walks off stage, right to the camera.
Right at the camera, too. So it's kind of like it's a very obvious thing. But now they're saying he looked around the stage and saw a bunch of black people, gay people, and whatever, and didn't want to be associated with them. Like, I can't be around these people. That's what they're saying. And I don't know where they got that assumption from, whether he's displayed that kind of behavior before in the past. But that's what they're saying.
He's had a run here recently, and also that same night when he was on his plane, he put a picture to Instagram, and he's like, "On my way to God's country." Right. That was the other, and it's like, what's going on?
That sounds like you're dying.
To Israel. He was going to Israel.
That sounds like you're dying to me. It's like, I'm on my way to God's country. I'm coming.
It does kind of sound like that.
I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm on my way to God's country.
Then why would you be talking to my wife like that?
Because she's the only one listening. How many chickens are you? Speaking of your wife, how many chickens are you down? Sounds like you're missing.
No, we got one back. One of them has come back, but the black one still seems to have gone missing.
His Instagram posts actually say, "Get me to God's country," written over the image.
Get me to God's country. I didn't even know he was Jewish.
When the black chicken went missing, were there any cross burnings? Did you smell burning wood and burning chicken? I mean, is it possible that the other chickens?
Here's the problem with this. I didn't find out about it until like almost 2 full days later. And I'm like, why didn't she call? The minute the thing didn't come home to the coop or whatever, text us then or call us then and say, let's go out on a chicken hunt.
See, now this is exactly why this is the problem we have with the media. When a black person goes missing, nobody cares. But let a blonde chicken go missing, everybody's out looking for the little blonde chicken. But little black chicken goes missing, nobody cares. They'll wait. It'll come home. It's just out doing drugs, having a party. You see, your wife is just exemplifying the issue. She's just putting a spotlight on the way we treat black chickens as opposed to the way we treat little blonde, blue-eyed chickens.
No, my wife is not part of that. The owner of the chickens is responsible, is the one who did not text us about it. She knew. She closes them in their coop at night. And when the black one didn't come home, she didn't contact us. Don't let us.
Okay, so I apologize. It's not your wife, but it's still systemic. It's the part of the system. They ignore the little black chickens when they disappear, but the little blonde-haired, blue-eyed chickens. Oh, we gotta find the chicken. There's a fox in the neighborhood taking the chickens.
So, how big is this guy that he's got? Ron is now showing us Morgan Wallen playing his jet. This guy is successful enough that he's got his own little private jet.
He's huge. His last album did really well, and it was a double album. And he's probably like one of the top country stars out there today.
Yeah, when I was at Daisy's, I got no response from doing his music. I did a couple of like 3 or 4, and I got a lot of response on everything else. That's what confused me. I thought, well, this guy's topping the charts, so I should do a few of his. And then people were acting like, hey, meh.
Yeah, well, he's had like in the past year, he went through this issue. He was in Nashville at like his bar or something like that, and threw a fucking chair off the roof.
Wow.
And that got him in some trouble because the chair, luckily, it didn't land on anybody, but apparently there were a group of police officers standing in the vicinity of where the chair came off the roof, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Wow.
And so he had that legal trouble. I think he got through that, and the whole thing with "Off to God's Country." So one of the SNL writers seen that and posted a meme with a picture of a Krispy Kreme donut truck and a donut coming out of it, saying "Back to God's Country." So the consensus is that none of the cast or the writers really like him. And I guess the feeling is mutual.
Wow.
So, who knows?
It's going to break my heart if he's not back because I haven't watched the Saturday Night Live in 50 years. So it's going to break my heart.
Yeah. So who knows why he was upset? He just seems like one of these guys. He's young. He's got a lot of money and success. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So he's full of himself. Fuck Morgan Wallen. That's the point we're getting to. Fuck Morgan Wallen, Woolen, whatever. More Helen Wellenmelon. You don't remember Helen Wellenmelon? GD knows Helen Wellenmelon. No.
It's a character, right?
Character from what?
Yes.
You don't know. I
No,
feel like
first I was
I'm
thinking.
privy to.
First, I was thinking of maybe the Saturday Night Live character, but I don't think so. But that was what I was first thinking.
A comedy movie from the '60s.
Mad World.
The Ladies' Man, Jerry Lewis.
Oh.
I would want to because you know how I do these AI reels that everybody hates, but still they get me a lot of traffic. I want to do one on the disappearance of comedy, feature-length comedies, like why filmmakers just are shying away from comedy. Comedies used to be big money, and now it just feels like I'd rather make a Marvel movie. Like, yeah, you can make a Marvel movie, and that'll bring in a lot of money, but it will also cost you a fucking dick and a scrotum to make a movie like that. So why do you think people don't want to make comedy movies anymore?
Because
they're cheaper to make, right?
They're cheaper to make, but studios don't see them as profitable. Because everything, especially now, everything's consolidated, so everybody needs easy wins. That's why you're getting movies that are like, you get a fucking Pop-Tart movie because people know the name Pop-Tart, and so people will watch that and they'll fucking build something around it. And like all of them are like that. Then there's also the other consensus is that comedies do not sell well overseas, which makes sense because why would a French comedy do well here unless it's, really adapted to American audiences? Because just the humor is different.
Yeah, well, maybe French is maybe. Because Pink Panther was not French. She just was.
I was gonna say Pink Panther went.
Yeah, but that wasn't French. That was making fun of French. Right.
I think also another reason they may not want to make comedies is like, you think about the movies you watched over and over again. They're usually actions. You can see the explosion over and over again. Dirty Harry movies, you can watch it over and over again. With comedies, you're building up to a joke. Once you got to the joke, it's hard to watch the same jokes over and over again and think it's funny.
I disagree with that.
Movie. When I was a kid, I watched all 13 movies 100 times or more.
Yeah, a really good comedy you should be able to watch over and over because the jokes should be funny that they still carry. That's a really kind of
came on today. I'd watch it if I had television and it came on. I would watch it.
I mean, I'm just saying it in general because I know I still watch The Other Guys. I love The Other Guys. I've seen it probably a dozen times, and I still laugh at the same stupid shit on it. But there were some movies I watched and like the Marx Brothers movies, I'd watch over and over and over and over and again. I think I may have outgrown them now. Well, I still watch it, but I would watch it with a totally different viewpoint. I guess almost like you watch a not a documentary, but some kind of like I'm learning something.
To me, what the comedy is suffering from is I feel like comedies suffer from Judd Apatowism. And what that was to me is when Judd Apatow really got some wind under him, and people were really like, oh yeah, this is the new comedy and things like that. The comedies were long. They were like pushing 2.5 hours, and like the character needs to have like some redemption arc
redemption.
Yeah, in comedies. And it's like, no, a good comedy should run you about 90 minutes and you go for the jokes. The jokes are supposed to be good, but now a lot of comedies, they seem to add on like an extra 40 minutes because for some reason somebody's saying, well, this character needs this, or they got to make them seem like good guys, even though they're doing terrible things.
And there was so many like summer used to be the time to release all these summer comedies. It just seems like summer and Christmas, the ratings, the big ratings weeks, whatever they are. But it just seems like there's nothing. I don't ever hear about, oh, this is a comedy I got to go see. And that, to me, it's a shame. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to the theater, but I would love to be able to watch a good comedy on television. Anything. So I would love to be able to fucking find something that I want to watch, because all the previews and all the suggestions you get on streaming stuff, it's like, oh, that, and then you'll start to check it out. You see a little bit of trailer, no, then you're on to the next one, and you spend 2 hours looking for a movie, and then by the time you're like, I don't feel like watching it.
Yeah, most comedies have been relegated to like streaming, and of course, the internet doesn't help either. But yeah, studios just don't want to get behind them. They want the big cash grab, something that's bright and shiny and shit like that.
Right. Now, our guest today was supposed to be Susan Powder. You guys, I think I mentioned, and you guys didn't remember her. 90s, she was a tough woman.
I remember her.
Yeah, I remember her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of relieved because I was, until like yesterday afternoon, I was kind of stressing. I'm just like, I'm going to be a little intimidated by this bitch. I remember feeling intimidated in the 90s when I was in good shape. Now I'm an old man, totally out of shape. I don't want to.
Why won't she come on the show?
No, I know. I said before, I definitely could understand that maybe they saw some samples of what a dick I could be and said, I ain't going on.
Yeah, or maybe what you just said was
But she couldn't have heard. I don't think I expressed that before.
I think the reason why she isn't here because she was only here to talk to Steven. And now Steven's not here. Why should she show up?
There she is, in case people are wondering.
She's my age. Like, she can't be in great shape anymore, right?
I think she's in good shape.
So here's where I'm at. It's like the publicist, again, this is all guessing on my part, but I'm guessing she told the publicist, because she's got a new book out and she's trying to make whatever you call a comeback or a come up or come in my face or whatever she's trying to do. The Insanity 2.0. And I think she told the PR guy, get me on podcast. And I think she was thinking in her mind, Joe Rogan, maybe one of these bigger ones. I don't know. Call me daddy, call her daddy, whatever. But I don't think she was thinking Coffee with the Dog. And when he approached her and said, here's your link to Coffee with the Dog, she's like, what? And then she went and said, that? I told you to get me on some podcasts, not that. And so we hit a snag. Yeah. He said, we hit a snag, but we'll reschedule when we get it figured out. I don't know if I want to reschedule now. I went through all this emotional shit. Like, I don't want to be told I got to get in shape. I'm not going to get in shape. I'm ready to fucking lay down and die. I don't want to start trying to get in shape again. I want to try to fall apart as quickly as possible. That's my goal. and I don't need some in shape 65-year-old woman yelling at me about how what a fucking soft.
What if she's only 64?
I think she's 67.
I think she's 66, but
no, in her bio it does say 66. But then when you
don't know when she wrote that bio.
Yeah, if you Google her, it says 67. So the PR guy sent me an old bio. But this is the thing, PR guys, if you're going to book people for the show.
PR guys, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, for all the Marvel fans out there was they released a teaser for that Doomsday Project, which is just like all the cast members. And because they did an event and it was fucking 5.5 hours for them to roll this out.
Wow.
And yeah, it has like all these different people involved. So if you're interested in that, and some people are complaining that the little teaser trailer they put out has ruined the movie already. It has a spoiler attached to it.
Oh, Jackie apparently knows who Susan Powder was. He's like, when's she going to be on? She's not, Jack. If you're still watching, she doesn't like me. Can you figure? Go figure.
I got it. Oh, did you give them a decision on your job?
I did.
And
I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about it for a few more years with the decision. I was like, I have to be honest. And in being honest, I don't think you will be happy with the me you get because I'm old. My heart's not in it. You should not hire me. You should go with somebody younger. You should go with somebody who cares, somebody who's going to care, somebody who wants to really work for you. I'm just going to be there for the paycheck because the money is so good. And
is that when you held out your hand and he cut your hand with a knife, then he cuts his hand with a knife? I'm like,
yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, blood oath, or what do you call it? Blood brothers, whatever. So no, I'm not going to be getting that job. I didn't say I didn't want.
Here's an interesting question. That was a pretty common practice back in the day. Swapping blood like that. Why didn't we have AIDS and other blood-related diseases starting way back when? Because we stopped that practice. You know, if that's when
we did. We did. Nobody, people just roughed it out. I got AIDS. I'm just gonna rough it out. That comes back to the question. Remember when Make America Great Again? The big question was, when was it ever fucking great? And then they would say, well, in the 50s when we had white power, whatever. We were all Leave It to Beaver. It was great for white suburban families in the 50s, but they really couldn't give you an answer when you asked them when was America. What is the period you're trying to get back to make America great? They would be really shy about saying what they.
Well, you should also have them define what a great America looks like. Because
that's the point of that question. What does the great America look like? Because if you say the 1950s, then I know it looks like Leave It to Beaver. Ward goes to work. The white wife stays home, and the white two kids are both boys. That's two kids, a wife, and the husband works, and the wife is Betty Crocker, working in the kitchen. And
trads. They call them trads now.
Yeah. So that is the point of the question. What does great look like? But on the same thing, Robert F. Kennedy appropriating the Make America Great Again to Make America Healthy Again. When was America healthier than it is right now? Because I was looking this up. I mean, you're certainly not going to point to the 80s when we had an AIDS epidemic and we had all sorts of stuff like that. Cancer, people were dying of cancer at a much higher rate forever for the entire 1900s through 1910. Now, deaths by cancer. So the question is, when was America healthy that we want to get back to make America healthy again? Because I'm hearing this all the time. It certainly wasn't with outbreaks of measles in West Texas that are going through the roof right now. I think 470 cases or something.
In Greenland, when Vance went to go visit, they had signs that said "Make America Go Away."
Yeah, I like that.
I said to my wife, I said, "Damn, I like that." Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't use that here because we are America, but I like it there.
Here, this is the weird thing. Vance goes to Greenland there. He's not welcome there. Nobody wanted him there, so he had to go to a military base, which I think were Americans, right? It's American.
Right. Yeah.
So he's not even speaking to Greenlanders, but he goes by and says, Greenland, we have to invade you and take you by force to protect you from being invaded and taken by force.
Right.
It's like that's some logic you got going on there, buddy. This is like, and we can't ignore the president's desires. Really?
Melania does it all the time.
Yeah. I think E. Jean Carroll tried to ignore his desires. She should have yelled rape, and that would and Greenland should probably yell rape right now.
No, don't yell rape. Yell what it's going to cost financially. Yell dollar signs, because he doesn't like to pay out.
Right. So yeah, it's just a
and the other thing is and Trump actually came out and said what he wants from Greenland. It's the natural resources and the rare earth, not the rare earth minerals, but the rare earth. He wants their music. And Vance does not mention that. It's like, well, no, everybody's trying to exploit Greenland. We're trying to protect you from being exploited. No, that's the very reason why Trump wants to be up there, is for the rare earth minerals and the gas, because Greenland has, my understanding, they have a tremendous oil reserve, but they are refusing to tap into it. They don't want to ruin the environment. And so why should we ruin the environment? We can get oil from other people. Let them ruin their environment.
Yeah, that's what he said. Now people are freaking out because, first of all, he did not rule out military force as part of this whole thing. Like, they've been going, well, we just want to buy them. Well, we're not for sale. Well, then we're going to just take it. Like, I don't know. We talk about imperialism. I mean, I don't think anybody voted for imperialism.
And that would also start a world war, because if Greenland is part of Denmark as of right now. Denmark is part of NATO. If Greenland is invaded and Denmark calls in the chip for the Article 5, chip, the other European nations have to help. And they're going to be fighting another NATO nation.
I would like to get an Article 5 chip. Can I get one?
Yeah, you can, but you have to be a member of NATO to get an Article 5 chip.
I thought NAPO. I thought you said NAPO. I'm a member
no.
of NAPO.
No, it's NATO.
All right, enough politics. Aren't you sick of politics yet? Aren't you sick of it yet?
I think everybody is, especially with the stuff that's going on and having to hear that little bitch every day.
Yeah. I am definitely worried about the Social Security thing, though, especially since I'm not going to be, at least immediately, starting that very lucrative job. I'm not going to be doing that. So,
do you think there will be a point anytime this year where payments will stop? Something will get fucked up and payments will stop.
I think that people have already expressed that they haven't gotten their checks yet because things have screwed up.
Now those are screw ups in the sense that not operational per se. It's like they've been booted off of lists. That's not en masse. But it's a lot of people. But it's not. But it's like people who've been, quote, unresponsive when they think they're dead or something like that. You know.
Right.
And they're making it harder, for you to respond.
Yeah. So, that's the point. There's no place to call. You can't, if you go there, the lines are going to be crazy because people are going there to identify themselves now. I think that the plan is to sabotage it. And yeah, I do think at some point checks are going to stop. Now, I was assured by everybody who I know who voted for Trump, that could never happen. They would never do that. You know what kind of panic that would cause, and the kind of massive depression and homelessness. Yeah, that doesn't seem to worry them at all. So whatever. We're talking politics.
I just wish conservatives actually had a backbone instead of actually just laying down for this old man.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I am so tired of, because I am not Bernie Sanders. I'm not that far left. I'm not even really left. I'm centrist. I'm in the middle. But people call me like a radical leftist. It's like, because anybody who not with Trump is a radical leftist. Here's the thing. Being the best support you could possibly have for the Republican Party is to be anti-Trump. This is you're saying you want the Republicans to go back to somewhat reasonable people is not necessarily left. That doesn't make you left.
Maybe make America great again means to go back to a time before Trump-ism.
You know what it does? It means to go back to a time when Trump was just a little Hitler youth.
He was like the government. They wanted the government they're trying to create. He was small enough that you could drown him in a bathtub.
Yeah. Now we're still on politics. We can't get away from this politics stuff. But Musk was talking about the people who put out all this fake Nazi stuff. There is no fakeness in the fact that his family were neo-Nazis, that he was raised, his father actually, Trump's father actually shook hands with Hitler with a big old smile on his face, all that kind of stuff. But Musk's family was also neo-Nazis. So you say, oh, so what? Just because I did a wave at a crowd. No, it wasn't a wave. It was a fucking zigile. But that's not the reason people are calling you a Nazi. People are calling you a Nazi because you're doing Nazi-like things. If you don't want to be compared to Nazis, don't do what a Nazi would do. Ask yourself, what would a Nazi do? And then do the opposite.
Hey, everybody, it's Carl Hitler.
Who is that guy? Who was that masked man?
There's an update on the Joe Gatto story. Apparently, he's going into a treatment facility.
Wow. A treatment facility for what?
Oh, because he has that whole sexual assault allegations against him with the 19-year-old. So now he's announced that he has to seek help. He has to seek help, and he's going to a treatment.
Go back to the tape. Did we not say that on this show? Did we not say that on this show?
Yeah.
Yes.
But what is the treatment? I mean, treatment for what? Like
it doesn't matter. It's just a publicity thing.
Yeah, for like, I don't know, sexual deviance.
Saltpeter in his diet will calm him down. I don't know. What is the treatment?
I mean, I don't know. I just imagine like an empty classroom, and it's a couple guys like Joe Gatto sitting in there, and it's a man and a woman walk in, and the woman's like, all right, guys, no means no. You can't do this. And the guy's like grabbing at her. She's like,
yeah.
And so, I think it's 4 guys in a class and 1 woman, and they're all in recovery. And all 4 guys, all they can think about is doing the 1 woman who's in there for recovery also.
Yeah. You say doing.
Fucking.
When someone says no, gentlemen, let it go.
There is somebody stop harassing me, Shirley Doig. Shirley Doig, who seems to be a very Asian lady. Now, Doig, I didn't know. Doig does not sound like an Asian last name, but anyway, she's harassing me. Stop harassing me. Somebody is playing at Govs. I want to performing at Govs. I want to look.
Do we do it? Are we still doing the news at the top of the hour? Because we just blew by 8
I know
minutes.
we blew past it. I figure like what? We have no guest. There's no like. I could play news.
Did you hear how they pronounce Myanmar? They got Myanmar wrong, but there was this other word that I don't know if they got it wrong or right because there's so many fucking syllables.
Myanmar, right? Is it what?
They said Myanmar. Which almost sounds like a candy bar. Your Myanmar bar.
No, whenever there's like an earthquake stuff, thoughts and prayers go out to. We got none of that for those people, right? I mean, I saw some videos.
It's kind of funky
Myanmar
because
sounds like a chocolate bar, right?
yeah,
Myanmar.
Myanmar is one of those totalitarian regimes. You know, they're very restrictive. They're very secretive, and
But it
they're
has a nice
brown.
coating of caramel on top.
Yes. You know,
Wow.
now Trump says he's willing to send help, but you know, it used to be U.S. aid that did all that kind of stuff. So now Trump is going to have to go over there and throw paper towels himself. He can't, you know, he's going to go over and throw paper towels and little hand spades so they can dig themselves out.
I think that act is over. He's not going to even bother with that anymore. I think he's
Or pretending to help.
Or pretending to give a fuck. I think he's done pretending.
He's still pretending because he just said to the public, "We'll send help. We're going to send help." Of course, he doesn't say what help is.
Yeah. Wow.
And most of the mechanisms
to NBC about I don't give a fuck. He did say I don't give a fuck if auto companies raise their prices on Americans now, or even though he act like he cared. He didn't care because he said, I don't give a fuck. That's what he told the NBC reporter when asked about prices going up. I could care less. Whoa, really?
Could care less means that there's still an element of caring. Now, if he could not care less, then there is no element of caring available.
That's, yeah. Well, you're right of what the literal meaning was. You're right about what the literal meaning was, but it became I could care less with like sarcasm, but most people don't even know that the sarcasm needs to be part of that for it to make sense. So yeah, you're right. Heather Shaw is playing at Gov's Comedy Club, performing April 4th and April 5th at the Brokerage. Now her picture, I want to show you her picture because I have a feeling I'm not the only one who's going to get this impression. I want to see what your impressions are. I want to share the screen, Facebook. Here's the ad they have for her. What impression do you get from seeing that picture?
Nice teeth.
Yeah, I thought it was Jim Carrey.
Well, I was.
You can see a little bit of that right there, but.
I could swear that when I went past, I was like, "Oh, fucking, they got Jim Carrey," and then I read the name Heather Shaw. Wait a minute, that's not Jim Carrey. That's a woman. But I thought like they chose because you could choose a lot of pictures. Let's try to see if we can reel a few extra people in with this picture where she looks like Jim Carrey. I just, I'm not disparaging Govs here. We are on the Governor's Comedy Network. I'm just thinking that went into that, right? No, you don't think so?
Yeah, maybe, but as someone that produces a lot of comedy shows, when I see pictures of comedy shows, they make me laugh because a lot of them are just so ridiculous. Because we know what's going on, but then we take pictures. Then, like some of the shots that people get and the faces comics are making, a lot of them aren't flattering. They're like eyes or crossed. And shit.
Yeah. Some of the graphic artists who work on comedy posters, they think they're working on like elegant restaurant menus or something. It's like it's comedy. It's not supposed to look all that classy, or they try to make it look like you're going out to a $500 a plate dinner or something. It's just like, wait a minute, what are you going for here? This is not supposed to be a presidential gala or something crazy like that. It's a fucking comedy club, man. Make it look appropriate to comedy. But I see a lot of them, and I think graphic artists they go by templates, right? And they're just going by like 1960s templates where Catskills is offering a $500 or actually then it was probably a $50 plate dinner and all inclusive nonsense, whatever that is. But there is an art to making comedy stuff, and I don't do it. I stay away from it because I'm not good at it. So you care about the news? You don't care about the news, do you?
I do, but I don't. I do care about the news, but I don't generally listen to it when you play it.
Right.
And I just hear the mistakes. I don't hear the headlines. I just like This is what I hear. Myanmar.
Yeah. No, I get it. The AI mistakes definitely stick out like a sore thumb. And what was it? The other day, somebody had, it was Vance, a recorded phone call, and they were saying it was AI. And I was like, no, AI is not good at a lot of things. And number one, it's really not good at being emotional. And there was the emotion. Like he said, it's not good for them. It's not good for me. It's not good for us. I was like, you could never get, you would struggle to get AI to kind of put that kind of inflection on stuff. I try it. It's really hard. And how do you come up with the prompts to make it exaggerate words or accentuate words like that? So everybody was arguing.
Use a different font and a different type size. So you go from, let's say, 14 to 20 in all caps.
You don't think I tried? You don't think I tried the font size stuff? No, I tried the all caps. I tried putting it in quotes. No, I struggled with AI to try to get some of these kind of things.
Have you tried a multitude of exclamation points?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what it will do?
It will say exclamation.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what will happen. And like yesterday, I misspelled your. I put a typo. It was YPUR, and it said wiper. I was like, wiper. If you want more like this in wiper feed, what the fuck you talking about? So yeah, AI is just like really stupid when it comes to all those kind of things, trying to get that human inflection out of stuff. So I am convinced if anybody could prove that J.D. Vance was the one who said that recording of him was AI. It's like, no, dude, I know AI. I can't get that to happen with AI. So anyway, what the show's over already, isn't it? We're done. Sure.
We didn't do showbiz.
Is that your laugh? Is that the laugh you decided upon?
No, that's me trying to clear my sinuses.
I thought it was gas, maybe. Oh, what is this? What is that? I can't see. It's a Wookiee. It's a rat. What is that? A mouse?
That's zombie Chuck E. Cheese.
No, it's here. There we go.
Yeah, zombie Chuck E. Cheese.
It looks like
So this is a picture from the movie called Steamboat, which is because Mickey Mouse is now public domain, along with a lot of other characters. So they made a movie called Steamboat, which is about a killer mouse rat.
Steamboat Willie was the original Mickey Mouse film.
Yep, it's called Steamboat. His name is Mickey, and they can do it because it's all public domain now.
Now, when did they decide that Willie was not a great name and change his name to Mickey? I don't know. What happened, Walt?
Steamboat Willie was just a character. Mickey was always his real name. He was just playing Steamboat Willie. He had range. Okay, he had range even from the beginning.
That was probably pretty confusing for people when they didn't know. Like a cartoon character is got a name and he's playing another cartoon character. I'm confused.
The layers, the genius of that man, Disney, the sheer genius of Disney.
Willie starring Mickey Mouse.
Yes, yeah.
Apparently, the guy who plays in Terrifier, David Howard Thornton, plays the homicidal Mickey Mouse in this kitschy public domain slasher.
A public domain slasher.
Now, there was somebody who was calling him Mickey the Mouse. Somebody from another country, Mickey the Mouse. I don't know where that got stuck in my brain. I'll probably come to me.
It almost sounds like something Father Guido Sarducci would have said.
I think it might have been Father. Now, whatever happened to Don Novella? He wasn't at the 50th anniversary, right, Father Guido?
I didn't see him there.
Question.
Is he even still alive?
because he was a regular in that character. That was probably the only thing he did on that show. Can't think of any other character he did on that show.
Right. No, he was just a writer who just they said, maybe you should do a little bit with that Italian thing you got going on there, and then it became he was responsible for Pope on a Rope, which sold a lot. I think it sold
yeah.
Pope on a Rope.
I wonder if he actually copyrighted it or patented it, or did someone else goes, "That's funny, we're going to use this," and he's like, "You can't steal my idea."
Yeah, apparently he appeared at the Vatican in 1981 because he dressed as Father Guido Sarducci.
That was a weird time for SNL because I think Jean Dumengian was still in charge. And she was like Lorne's assistant who took over when Lorne left in 1980, and things went really bad. She was in charge when Charles Rocket dropped the F-bomb live on Saturday Night Live. But she was really hard to work with or work for, but she thought she was doing great. And then Dick Ebersol took it over, who was a sports guy.
Yeah.
It's a very weird time for SNL.
Don Novella is 82 years old.
82.
Is he still doing Guido Sarducci?
Yeah, he's still kicking. He's still kicking.
All right, get him on the program.
Me.
Let's book him. Find me his contact information, and let me reach out to him and say,
his last real appearance was in, looks like 2010.
Wow. All right, there we are. That's it. Bring it back.
His last credit in television is 2013.
Wow.
Lenny Schultz was performing up until he died, and he died at 91. George Burns performed until he died, right? Until a few months before he died. I don't know when George Burns stopped, but he was still doing stand-up at 81.
Now, do you have what year did George Burns die? Do you know?
No, I had to Google. I have to use the Google machine.
I'll look at it because I saw him in 1983 in California. Went to the Tonight Show, and he was
old then, wasn't he? I remember.
He was very old then.
Because last things I remember him were "Oh God" 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, that was the 80s, right?
Yeah,
I think so. His 80s and the 80s. I think he was both.
Yeah, because I remember being a little kid. I was like, who would even be interested in this?
Wow, he died in 1996.
Damn.
At 100. He was 100 years old. Wow.
When did he stop performing?
It doesn't. Do I have to Google that?
No, you should know it off the top of your head. Of course you can Google
it. It was close to the end. He was, and I think if he was able to move, he would go.
Yeah, I thought he was in his 90s I thought he performed into his 90s.
Yeah, but he's not like the guy from the Jersey Boys or whatever. What's that guy? I fucking forget that.
Frankie Valli.
Yeah, where they're just because Frankie Valli is like in his 90s, and they just roll him out on stage. He's not even lip syncing it. He's not even trying. He's like
he's not even sure where he really is.
Yeah, it's just really sad.
These nurses are dressed funny today. 18 again was the last movie George Burns made. That was in 1988, so that was 8 years before he died. He was 92 when he made the movie 18 again. And I don't know if he did any television after that, but
that sounds like a porn. 18 again.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, some of these people should hang it up. I think, people hang on too long. It's like, retire already. You're embarrassing yourself. Frankie Valli should just sit down and die. I think I don't know.
What do you think keeps him going? You think it's just because he's got nothing better to do, or someone is really behind him?
I think somebody is pushing it. Somebody who, this is what happened with Groucho, that Erin, I can't remember her last
Brockovich.
name. Huh?
Erin Brockovich.
No.
No?
No, the young girlfriend that Groucho had, who was keeping him performing well past when he should have laid down and died. But yeah, and Robert Klein verified for me that she was just pushing him too hard. Now Groucho was deeply in love with her. Who wouldn't be? You're 96 years old and you got like a 30-year-old with big tits taking care of you or feeding you Jello. It's easy to be protective and
doing Jello shots off her cleavage.
Yeah. So, but some of these people just need to know when to get off the stage. Just know you're better off leaving your legacy a good one. Because now, when Frankie Valli dies, all people are going to remember is that fucking stuffed animal that they had on stage looking like him.
It's hard. It's kind of rough. It's kind of like Willie Mays, Muhammad Ali. You know, Muhammad Ali couldn't stay retired for a while until he got forced into it. Willie Mays.
Well, I was thinking about Willie Mays because Willie Mays, towards the end of his career, came to the Mets. Like they wanted him to end his career in New York, where it started, and he looked like such an old man. He was fucking 39, 40. To me, that is fucking youthful. I remember my 39 and 40. Man, I was still feeling young. Maybe in my mind, 39 was a tough age. Turning 40 was a little bit traumatic, but still, I mean, compared to where I am now, and I remember thinking, oh, poor Willie, he's an old man. Like 39, 40, poor Willie, he's fucking old man. Now, in retrospect, I would give both my nuts to be 39, 40. 39-ish.
But the very thing that made 39 and 40 attractive was having two healthy nuts. So that kind of defeats the purpose.
Is that what it was? It was two healthy nuts?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be 40 again because that means I had 10 more years I don't know if I was 40 and I knew that I was going to have to be circumcised in 10 years. I don't know if I could.
You say have to be. I thought that was a voluntary thing. You didn't have to be.
No, it was. I didn't have much choice.
You had cancer of the dick?
No, the skin kept ripping when I got an erection. Yeah.
All right. I could have went all week without knowing that.
Yeah.
That's gonna keep me up at night. That's gonna keep me away from the zipper. I'm not gonna pull up any zippers.
Motherfucker. Yeah, it was, and the worst part was that it was because it ripped in one spot or three spots. Every time it would rip in those spots again, and the tears would get bigger and bigger, and so it just got more and more horrible and painful. There was like no relief.
Since I'm just fucking bored here, and I've been fighting the urge to bash somebody. You know, I look at Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony talk about each other.
Is that your go-to bash? Is that your go-to bash thing? I'm looking to bash somebody. Opie and Anthony.
No, I don't want to be like them. But here's the thing: when I see them, they both have separate shows now. For the last 15-year podcast, they don't do shows. Well, Cumia has what he calls a radio show for 2 hours on Sunday night on AM radio. But they spend all the time talking about each other constantly. Like this is their act now, is to reminisce about something that from 20 years ago and just bash the other guy. And I don't want to be that. But somebody posted a video of Mikey from the Rockin' 45's gig this weekend. He's doing a duo. The Rockin' 45's duo was Kiera, who he kicked out of the band about 4 years ago. But it's a karaoke act. Neither one of them play an instrument, and they do karaoke stuff. And their mix was really bad because they're both like really, I need to be out front, and put their vocals out front. And it was just so awful. Awful. I mean, he's doing a cover of Can't Buy Me Love and singing like not just a little flat, but embarrassingly off-key flat. And like putting that out there, and it's a douche chills. I don't know if you're familiar with douche chills. Do you know what douche chills are? Where you just you're embarrassed as if it's happening to you. You get the feeling like, oh my God, I just need to hide watching the fucking thing. And it was just like, you know what? And I said to Scott, who plays with the Rockin' 45, I would walk. If somebody said to me, I'd rather do a really offbeat, off key performance with backing tracks that are mixed way down too low than to do a duo with you playing guitar. That is like complete disrespect. Fucking, I would walk. I don't know how you stick with that. Like, come on, backing track. I mean, two people, the Rockin' 45 duo, and neither one of them is playing an instrument. That's karaoke. That's not fucking entertainment. Go ahead.
Maybe this sign was misprinted and it was actually the mocking 45s. They were just
Could be the mocking.
Yeah.
Listen to the mocking boy. Listen to the mocking boy. You know the reference. You get.
It was a song.
Heckle and Jekyll. Heckle and Jekyll.
I have an interview today.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Is this one of the good interviews or one of the ones you're just doing because it's
Is it
required by law?
Access Hollywood is coming to interview you?
Now this one is pretty decent. It pays pretty well, so I'm actually somewhat excited for this one.
Oh, so you got your fingers crossed?
Yeah, I'm actually going to pretend that I really want that I want to grow with the company.
Yeah, see, that's hard for me. I couldn't fake it, and that's why I'm unemployed. I'm not unemployed. I'm a professional artist. I don't know if here's oh, thank you. You know what? I think it's somebody I just bashed calling me. Hello. I wish I could put you on the air.
Oh, you're on the air.
Yeah.
Larry, I was gonna say Larry Graham. What's it? Larry King. Larry King. You're on the air. Welcome to Larry King.
It's not Mikey. It's the other half of the duo. I think calling. Which is really weird.
No,
you know, if you want to come on and if you are listening, if you want to come on, I will send you a link. If you want to come on and debate me about this or just bash me back, just let me know. Just text me or something. Where was I? Do you remember where I was? I was in this room, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were talking
about. Come in here for
you don't want to be like Opie and Anthony talking about Opie and Anthony.
I move on past that. But
so you're talking.
I had to get that out of my 45s. I fought myself from not posting that on the video because I didn't want to be the guy who goes on the video and say, "Man, this is really embarrassing. It sucks so bad." But I can't carry that around. It did suck so bad. There was something else I was going to bring up. Now I forgot. See, this is the problem with being old, or just being human.
Last week, my wife has just started watching the news again within the past 2 or 3 weeks. And she was like, every time she watched the news, she would just get depressed. So she just stopped watching. She just couldn't, so she just started watching again. But she doesn't watch it for information. She watches it so that she can yell at the television set. And I watch it so that I can have information so that I can, I can learn stuff and figure out, things. And so I spend half the time watching news with my wife, trying to comfort my wife between news stories.
Wow.
She'll go, what are you going to do if you lose your Social Security? I said, I don't know. I guess I'll go back to work. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Suck dick.
Yeah, but I didn't make any money last time I did that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I wasn't going to pay because the last time I did it was my own, and I wasn't going to pay myself. That would make me a prostitute.
Yeah, isn't it nice that you actually have to worry about Social Security now?
It makes me young again, Ron. It makes me young again. Having something to fight for makes me young.
So you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
I'm gonna have to sell my boots. I'm gonna have to sell my boots and my bootstraps.
Maybe I don't know the proper meaning of nice. I gotta look it up. Nice. No, it's not nice. According to what Google says nice means. No, it's not nice having to worry about anything. This is the thing. I got into an argument with somebody who was very rich. And I said, all you you spend all your time thinking about money. When is enough? He said, well, what do you want? What do you want? I just want to not have to worry about things. And, see, if you were rich, you wouldn't have to worry. I was like, well, no, I paid this money in. This was my savings account. They took it promising that when I got to this age, they were going to give it back to me. That was my company. I'm not looking to be rich. I just want the money I paid in that was promised they would pay back to me. All I wanted to know that that's there. That's not asking too much, is it? But apparently it is. Apparently in America it is. I booked my first privately, not through Paint the Town, the company I work for in California, doing these paint parties. I booked my first one on my own. And I got to tell you, wow. It's because I know what Paint the Town, I already mentioned it, but I know what they get, their pricing gets. And doing it myself, like what I get when I work for them, I'm getting a small percentage of what they're charging these people for parties. And I do get tips with it too. So it's right now, I'll just put my business on the street here. For doing a 2-hour paint party, take home about $220. That's not bad, right? But if I book it myself for 2 hours, like $900.
Now, how much?
Welcome to Minucci's.
When you're doing it under the
I'm not telling you
auspices
what the profit is and where I'm buying bulk materials and all that kind
right,
of stuff.
that's what I'm saying, because there's
I'm not telling you that.
Oh no,
because
was gonna
what
ask.
I'm telling them is the part. It's mostly what goes towards materials. So I'm not telling you that it doesn't. Most of that doesn't go to materials. I'm not saying that. I'm outing myself as a goddamn liar.
I wasn't even asking.
I'm not telling these people that I'm charging, that I'm lying to them.
And that you're using old easels.
To say that I'm lying to people about what I'm lying to them about and confessing to lying to people. I'm not going to do it.
Speak American.
Okay, yeah. But that wasn't. I wasn't even going to ask you to do that though. That was not where I was going to go.
In that case, it all goes to materials. It's almost all for materials.
Okay, that's good.
I have a thing in Manhattan on Wednesday. Manhattan is also known as New York City. A corporate thing for like 250 people, and they're doing four paintings at once on coasters, drink coasters. So they don't need canvas and they don't need easels and all this stuff. And but it's my first corporate affair for the painting stuff where with that many people. I'm going to be a little bit off my game with that. I don't know. I mean, speaking to 250 people.
I think I'm going to probably start my own business. I think what I'm going to do is offer my services because I live in an agriculture area. There's going to be a lot of corn, stuff like that. So I'm going to have maybe little parties where we're shucking corn and telling jokes. And I'm teaching, so I'm going to call it shuck and jive. And we're just going to, peel the ears.
I think.
What?
I'm pretty sure that's been done. It was called Hee Haw.
Yeah, but they weren't black people doing it.
Where, oh, where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone?
I've searched the world over and I thought I found true love.
You met another and you were
gone. Yeah.
Oh, I am getting a text message.
So either
no, she doesn't want to come on this program. She just called me a dick. All right, I am a dick. Well,
I'm a dickin' and I'm a grinning.
What am I supposed to do? Carry that just frustration around with me? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Dickin' and a grinning. Well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
I'd probably be the adult thing to do. But I hate being an adult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck the adult thing to do. I don't want to be an adult.
You're yanking my chain, Matt. You stop it. You're yanking my chain.
Damn, these fucking notifications never stop coming. Now, are you schools closed by you? I mean, you got your kids. You don't have kids. Well, Ron's got kids. Are they off from school today? Because my grandson's off from school today. I don't know what the fucking holiday is. Like, what's the holiday?
Well, it's not a holiday.
The kids here are in school.
But there's something on my calendar. There's something written on my calendar.
Oh no, I think my neighbor across the street, his wife left him.
Oh, that's a good reason to keep the kids home from school.
Well, I mean, there was she was here with a truck over the weekend, and loading up stuff, and then I haven't seen her since then.
Today is a holiday. It's Cesar Chavez Day. So the kids could be out of school for that.
Yeah.
I know if I had kids, I would have kept them out of school.
It's almost like I don't want to say anything on social media anymore because I will get attacked no matter what. And yesterday I was doing a thing on Jimmy Page, and as I was doing it, I said, I just can't wait to see people bashing Jimmy because I know what it's going to be too. Like he didn't do nothing was original. He was just appropriating black blues artists, thinking they were not capable, didn't have the resources to sue him. And sure enough, I mean, the hate started coming. It's like you can't say anything positive about anybody without expecting some kind of backlash. And you know, so it's almost like I don't want to put anything out there on social media anymore. It's just the amount of people feel like necessarily I gotta just argue with people all day long, and the amount of them who are hiding behind just fake names and fake pictures and stuff, it just drives me crazy. If you're gonna fucking come at me, give me your real name and a real photo. Well, are you gonna come and fight me? No, so that it's on the record for you actually being who you are, rather than some stranger hiding in the mama's skirt.
This is one of the chat Facebook groups before I got kicked out of it. I've been kicked out of a lot of Facebook groups. I posted something, and this one guy, said that's not funny. That's not funny at all. But the thing is, I had 7 responses, and they were all like laughy emojis. And this one guy says, "This is not funny." So he's countering the fact that other people already thought it was funny. And he says, "I'm a comedian. I've been doing comedy for 20 years. I kind of know what funny is." That's all. I'm a comedian also, and I have my idea of what funny is. And he goes, "Well, I don't think you do know what funny is." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Do you have a mug?" He said, "Okay, that's it. You win," because he didn't have a mug, and I didn't buy this mug myself. It was given to me by my stepson.
Let me see.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta take the.
If you don't want, best comedian ever. I thought it had your face on it because I have a mug that has my face on it. What does that mean?
I kind of have. No, I don't have one of those. I have a mug that has somebody else's face on it, but the handle's broken. Because
you guys talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna.
He's gonna. Okay. So you have the not open. You have the Mr. Tongue tonight.
Yeah.
Knows.
I'll be curious to see how many comics show up, but who knows?
Achoo. Oh, and you guys gonna say God bless me because Gesundheit something? I can't get nothing out of you guys.
It might only be 2 of us tonight, so we'll see.
Right.
Well, I would join. This is my Barry Katz night. So.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, this is how open mics go. There's ebbs and flows. There's times where you're just brimming with people. Then there's other times where it's like this, where it's just slow and shit like that. So, but HMAC has been slow since September. It has not been. It's not been really good for bars, and because I was just in Williamsport this weekend, and the owner of I was talking to the owner of the bar, and he said, yeah, just overall in general, even in Williamsport, like all the bars businesses, all the bar business is down over the past 2 years. So people just aren't coming out as much anymore. Shit's fucking really expensive.
When you say coming out, you mean going to comedy shows?
or just or anything in general,
Well,
because
coming out means something completely different.
and like I get it, because who wants to come out on a Monday especially if you're watching Money, you're like, do I want to go out on a Monday night or a Friday night? More than likely, you're going to choose the Friday.
Are people watching Money because they're doing paint parties, which is not cheap.
Some people don't have to watch their Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the Richie rich areas, it may not be an issue, but who knows?
The last two paint parties I did were not in rich areas, and Jamaica.
But one of the last ones was the one in Jamaica. That was a birthday party, so they knew that birthday was coming up for a year, so they may have been saving up the money. That was like their splurge day.
Yeah,
I've had days like that where I saved up the money, and rented a limousine, and we all got dolled up and went to a show, and or at the Kennedy Center. But I couldn't do that again for like another 2 years because it's going to take me that long to save up that kind of money.
And if I've learned anything over 50 years in show business, is some people will go out and spend a lot of money and then starve all fucking week. I spent all my money on Friday night and I have no money to eat on Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday of the week. People will do that. They will spend beyond their means.
And a buddy of mine, we had a tradition of going to a gentleman's ballet, for his birthday. We used to go to the gentleman's ballet, and I would treat him. And I knew that was coming up, so I would save up mad money so that I could buy him dinner and stuff. And one of the things I had set aside like $200 for tips. Okay, but nobody knew this, but just for tips. And I would we'd have drinks or something. Like one was at one place, and the tab came to like $40 something. And I looked at it and I said to the lady, I said, I don't know what to tip. What should I tip you on $40? And she said $55. I said, okay. And I give her $55 tip, And again, it was just because I saved up for this and I just planned on that, for the look on her face, just that. And then we get to the strip club. I'm sorry, the gentleman's ballet. And my friend is like going up with $5 bill, and I see the one stripper that I think is really attractive, and I just give her $50. That's it. I'm not going to dollar bill her like that.
I thought generally the tips were 15%, not 120%.
Like I said, I did it on purpose.
I know, but that's 120%.
And she probably didn't think I was going to do it, so she just named a ridiculous amount.
So no wonder you had to get circumcised because your tip was ripping.
Outrageous tips.
Your tip was too big.
And that was the part that was ripping. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I talked about Opie and Anthony before. Here it is. 2 weeks ago, when Cumia had his premiere show on WABC AM on a Sunday night, he was talking about how Bill Burr isn't funny anymore, and because he doesn't like Bill Burr's politics. Now they had a falling. They used to be friends, but Bill Burr is married to a black woman, and Cumia is a fucking rabid racist. And so as time went on, they became not friends, and now they're enemies. But come in now. Here's Opie right now on his thing, right as we're speaking, saying Bill Burr isn't funny because of you don't like his politics. It's just ridiculous, and blah blah blah. So he's talking about 2 weeks ago something that Columbia said on the show. Now Kevin Brennan, I don't know if Kevin Brennan has a Sirius XM show or whatever. He offered Opie $1,000 to come on Monday morning for an hour and review the previous night's Anthony Cumia show for $1,000. $1,000 for 1 hour a week. That's $52,000 a year. And Opie maybe once I would do it, but not every week. No, and like some people are saying, "Are you kidding me? Turning down $52,000 for 1 hour a week?" It's like It depends on your circumstance. If you banked millions of a few $1,000,000, $52,000 a year is nothing. If you're a comedian who has been in comedy for 10 years and still haven't made $10,000 in a year, that's a huge amount of money. So it depends on your own perspective on the thing. I would take it though, an hour a week for 50
Yeah, I would take
grand.
it. Yeah, I would take
Yeah.
it. They didn't offer it to me though.
Even that's what I was going to say. Like I will come on and do it for half of that, and I will give you a better review than Opie would, because Opie will probably try to be a little politically correct or grown up about it. I would just come out and say, hey, fuck that guy. I don't know if you're familiar with Cumia, but he's just the worst. He's fucking worst. And everything. He's more far right than anybody. And I don't know how that. I mentioned last week. I think Fox News radicalized him, because before they started their radio show before Fox News, and he was not known as he was friends with lots of people, gay people, black people, and all that stuff. He best friends with a guy who is married to a trans woman. So I don't know how you go from being that to being just a complete right-wing bigot about everything. But that's where he is now. So I would do that in a heartbeat for 1 hour for $1,000, and you could do it remotely. You don't even have to go into New York City or anything. You do it from where you are. Why not? Right?
All right.
Yeah. So I'm offering my services to do that for $100 a week. No, I take that back. 250. What's my rate?
I don't know. I have trouble. I'm not good at those kind of decisions, which is why I need a wife. I have a wife, but she doesn't. I need a second wife, because my current wife is too busy with
the wife.
it. Well, yeah, she's too busy with her own things, and I don't want to burden her with my.
A lot of that comes.
Now, if you were gonna call, let's say you were gonna call, because I was having this discussion with Jason Stewart the other day about what comedians get, and if you're booking yourself without an agent. So, say you're calling a club and they put you on the spot, like how much do you have the amount in mind before you make the phone call, or you put?
I do, yeah.
Because I was saying, and I don't want to out anybody here. Let's just say somebody I know who was he's a headliner. He performs around a lot, and John Locken approached me about a show he was doing in Georgia, and he needed a draw, and he said, you think he can get so and so to do the show? And I was like, well, I'll ask. What kind of money are you talking about? He said $10,000 one night, a Friday night, to do an hour and 20 minutes tops in Georgia for 10 grand. And I called the guy, and he said, I ain't going to Georgia for 10 grand. Like, wow. And I told that to Jason the other day, and he was surprised by that. He's like, really? One night, 1 hour?
Yeah, you would fucking be on that plane ASAP.
And this guy, again, I'm trying to be politically correct here. This guy is not Dave Chappelle. He's not he's not like that big a name. That I was fucking shocked to think, well, what are you getting when you do the clubs here? Are you getting 10, 15 grand a night?
In fact, I would be boarding the plane as I'm finalizing. I got my seat already.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little different from Ron. I wouldn't fly. I would drive down, but by the time he finished the sentence, I would be outside honking my horn. I'd be outside going, honk, honk, I'm here.
Right. So Jason was surprised by that, and then when we got into the discussion of what is because it depends on the size. I'm trying to think of the economics of it, and this is why I asked if you know the price going in, because I would feel like there's some negotiation room here. How big is the club?
Right.
If we sell out, like Governors in Levittown, it's 450 seats, right, in the main room there, or there about 450 is what it holds. If you sell all that out for $30 a piece, and then you add on dinner and drinks, the amount of money being taken in at that night is over $40,000, right, with drinks and all that kind of stuff. So then you can ask for 5 to 8, maybe grand. I don't know if you're doing that, but so that's what it should be based on. I never have this idea of how much. When they say how much, it's like, well, because in the music world, you start out by working for the door. All the door is yours. So you charge at the door, you're getting whatever, $5-10 at the door when you start out. I'm thinking back in the 70s when I was doing this. And then so 100 people came in, you're getting $500 off the door, or $1,000 off the door, whatever they paid at the door. You get all the door. I don't know if comedy clubs ever work that way. Like, I just take the door. How about that? You can, all the drinks and meals you serve are profit for you. They don't work that way though. But that's how I never go in there with a set price in mind. And then if I price myself out of the ballpark, does that close down negotiations? Like, okay, I'm too high. I'm too high.
Yeah, see, that's I have a range, but also depends on certain things. Like the private parties, I look at differently than clubs. But private parties, if it's close to my house and it's like an hour or so, I'm not trying to kill, break people over. It's like, okay, I'm just driving 30, 40 minutes and it's for an hour. So let's do this. A respectable amount of money. But there was one party that it was like a 70th birthday party. And they wanted to book me. And they said, okay, so I was booked. And they wanted me to find them 2 female comedians for the show as well. I'm sorry, 1 female comedian, but I gave them 3 to pick from. And one of them, for half an hour at a 70th birthday party, decided that she was going to charge $400 for half an hour. I know the person. I think she's funny. I would never pay her $400 for half an hour for this kind of thing. And she priced herself right on out of the market. Now that I was the headliner and she had doubled what I was being paid, which didn't bother me.
Yeah. Good morning, Ian. Good to see you. I think Ian's been sleeping in late. Murray the K, the 5th Beatles, the fifth drinker of.
For me, it's just several different factors which come into the rate. For me, then like when I'm booking shit for Josh, the same thing. It all depends on where he's going and all that shit.
Determining value is a difficult thing on this stuff. But when I think about comedians, I also start thinking about some of these fucking tribute bands that I know that like same venue in Georgia where they were. I know one tribute band. It's a Stevie Nicks tribute band that I was doing some work with, and they were getting $40,000 for a tribute.
Now
band.
that I don't understand. That I do not get.
Same venue too, like that they were offering $10,000 for.
Well, what you see, what happens, like that's sort of on a smaller scale, kind of happens in comedy too, like regionally or whatever, because there will be comics that you hire because they're, they can do well as headliners. Then all of a sudden, maybe they get a little heat, or maybe they have someone booking some stuff for it, and you reach out to them, and they'll be like, "No, my rate is now 3 times as much," and it's like, "Well, slow your roll, buddy, because just because you're doing this stuff over here, it doesn't mean you can still fucking draw and bring people out."
Right.
And it's especially for independent producers, for comics to come back and say, "Oh, I need this outrageous rate." It's like, have you forgot where you come from? Because most independent producers do not make a lot of money at all.
Right. Which is why I always love to have an agent do the negotiation, the booking agent, somebody who works for you. Well, when I was doing Hank Porter and the Lonesome Cowboys, I invented a booking agent. It was still me, but I invented a false persona to give people my agent's contact, and then I felt freer about it. Was Max Napstein, and the fact that they assumed Max Napstein was Jewish gave me a little more power, I think, in negotiating. I don't know why.
If I did, I'm not saying I would do this because I'd still be the same personality. I'm still the same persona who's terrible with money. So, but if I had created a persona to be my agent, I should maybe pick somebody who's like maybe Nigerian or
Nigerian.
I'm just saying because you can pass for Jewish. I don't know if I could pass for Jewish. I'm sure people
I
have.
think you could.
I think many people have thought you were a New York Jew.
Well, yeah,
Right?
all the time.
Yeah.
I
See.
did a video one. It was a political video. I think it was probably back in 2016 or something when Trump got first elected, and some woman from San Francisco said, "Why are you Jews all so vulgar?" It's like, what makes you think I'm Jewish? I'm just vulgar. You don't have to be Jewish to be vulgar in New York. I think we're all. I mean, all New Yorkers are vulgar.
And did he say to you, "Why'd you so bro? Why'd you so vulgar?"
Yeah.
I think one of the. I'm not like. There was a movie with the Woody Allen movie, and he's standing in line and he's talking about the woman. He says the woman just assumed I was a Jew. He goes, "What made you say that?" He says, "Because she said Jew eat." She didn't say did you eat. She said Jew eat. So,
all right, what are you doing here? I better have more money. Don't give me this fake money. Give me more money. No, you're not giving me more money.
okay, for
I
those
want
that
more
are coming
money.
back, it's I have to do the colored commentary again. Right now, Matt Napa was fingering his phone trying to get more money out of it.
I want more money. Give me
See?
more money, you motherfuckers. Money, money, money, money, money, money. I feel like somebody should go to minddogtv.com/merch and buy shit because nobody's been buying shit.
Okay.
People are buying a couple of things off of YouTube. Affiliate money.
They'll buy Matt. They'll buy them all on Wednesday when the big economy news comes out by Trump. More tariffs.
Are we expecting good news on Wednesday?
No, the tariffs are supposed to go into effect on the second or third.
How much? What's the over under that he walks it all back with?
I think that's what I was just going to say. I'll give him another 30 days, that kind of thing.
Yep. He's going to walk it back. They're too much of a pussy, and they're ruining all of these relationships.
Jesus, I don't know what the over under.
The thing is, his supporters are watching this in real time, and I wonder how many of them are giving him license because of his fake persona of being a great deal maker. You know, they're saying he must know what he's doing. He's got a book called Art of the Deal, and he's just up here, and we don't understand his style of deal making. You know, like he dealt with Russia and he got nothing in return. He dealt with North Korea and he got nothing in return. So when are you going to realize that a deal means both sides get something, not they get something and you get praise? That's not a deal.
Yeah. The ego gets in the way of all this kind of stuff. So I don't think it will ever, because he said tariffs would be good for the economy. I don't think he could ever, even no matter how much people prove to him that tariffs and trade wars are not good. He can't walk.
But all he has to do, all he has to do to have it both ways is to be truthful and say tariffs can be beneficial short term, but not like the way he's doing it. See, he could just modify. Like there are some places that we do not have tariffs on, but we have an agreement on. A couple of Asian countries, we do not charge them tariffs to import, but the deal was we don't charge you tariffs, and you don't make knockoffs and sell them back to us. Like you don't make Rolex watches and put them on the street. You don't make Nintendos and or Transformers, to quote Ron. You don't make Transformers and sell them to us. And so you do that, and we don't have the tariffs. So sometimes they're not being charged a tariff, but there's something we get back in return. All he has to do is
shout the tariff.
That song has been going through my head for like a week now. It's been so the Reverend is this close to singing it. This close.
No copyright strikes on doing. I just want to celebrate another day of living. Yesterday for the Rev. I don't know if you know, the Rev broke into that song yesterday, and I was
no, I didn't remember him doing that. You said there's no copyright strikes?
No, I didn't see any. I didn't see
Good,
any
good.
Yeah.
Maybe he's singing in the wrong key.
Yeah. The tariff, but I'm worried. I'm wondering when the new jobs report comes out, when the real economic numbers come out.
This week, everything comes out this week. The jobs report.
They're not going to release the real numbers. Trump already said that they're going to tweak the numbers. Him and his Department of Labor, they already because the last numbers were so bad, they decided they were going to like rework the numbers, and they said that out loud before. As soon as I saw the numbers were bad, I said they're going to just lie.
Yeah, they're trying to change so much on the reporting, which just shows like, yeah, you're trying to cook the books.
Yeah. I got into an argument with a Trump supporter over because they were talking about the amount of fraud that Elon Musk is finding. I'm like, they haven't charged anybody. It kept going with this idea. He's finding so much fraud. I'm like, where's the proof of this? And then I said, you probably still believe Haitians are eating your dogs and kids are going to school and getting sex change operations. Oh, what does that have to do with anything? You're changing the subject right away. You can't stick to subject. It's like, no, that is very pertinent to the subject. The subject is this. He tells lies that are so outrageous that they're obviously false on the face of them. And how many times does he do that before you start to question everything and ask for some proof? This is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying this just to kind of change the subject. I'm trying to say he lies to you about everything. When are you going to start to question anything he says? Because everything is suspect. And, the most outrageous lies should require. I go back to when he was on Letterman, and he was talking about China, and he was presenting his Trump ties. And Letterman said, "Well, where are these made?" And he looks at it. Oh, how about that? They're made in China. And Trump showed no shame about being outed. None. He had no shame about totally being embarrassed in that moment. And this is what he does. He just will tell you. And none of the fucking cult members can get this idea through their head that I'm not bringing up the ties or the Haitian dogs or the sex changes at school for the purpose of talking about those things. I'm doing to illustrate how stupid you are to believe anything he fucking says. And when are you going to ask for proof of what he says? It's just so frustrating.
Mannequin pussy.
You know how the time travel experiment is: if you go back in time, would you kill baby Hitler? Yeah. My thing is, if you went back in time, would you kill baby Trump or baby Roy Cohn? Because you can only take out one. Because I think Roy Cohn made Trump. Trump was never going to be a nice person, but Roy Cohn taught him how to be like an evil person with a purpose, a plan. He gave him a plan. Deny, delay. And I think Trump would be super inept without that. Because right now Trump just gets by because he wears people down and outlasts them. He doesn't have anything inside of his heart to say maybe you should not do this. It's like, nope, I'm gonna have my way. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep lying. The bigger the lie, the further the truth. I'm gonna call my business Truth Social, because this is where you come to get the social truth right here.
He's gone on record as many people have said that he says his mantra is if you repeat a lie enough that people will believe it.
Yes.
But I think he got that from Roy Cohn. I was just thinking that
I think he got that from Hitler. But
really, it could be.
I associate that with the Nazis. If you're going to tell a lie, repeat the lie and make it really big. Of course, they may have gotten it from Ben Franklin. So,
Roy Cohn is the common thread between RFK Jr. and Donald Trump. He was friends with both their fathers, and of course, Roy Cohn was a mentor to Donald Trump. But he worked with Robert Kennedy on the Joseph McCarthy blacklist stuff. That was Roy Cohn's thing too. So a common thread there. I didn't think about that until just now, because light bulbs don't go off as quick in my head.
I'm also curious about people that are so anti-gay and so homophobic. You know, like Trump is pretty much homophobic. You know, and or at least with his practices. You know, I think it may be him protesting too much, but he was so close to Roy Cohn, and he loved the way Hoover, the FBI Hoover, not the President Hoover.
Right.
You know?
I was going to say Herbert Hoover. I didn't know he was gay, but okay. Herbert Hoover, who might not have been gay, but he was certainly a cross-dresser, right? I don't know.
Well, the rumors that I started say he was gay.
Could be.
Yeah.
Listen,
those are the rumors I started. I don't know about the other rumors.
Okay. Yeah. So not Herbert Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover. Just a weird thing. Just a weird thing for a guy who has that going on to become a chief and a blackmailer. You would think a guy who has stuff to be blackmailed over would probably shy away from the blackmail business.
But that's how he knew. You keep them off balance. You keep them out of your closet by going into theirs.
All right, I'm jumping, guys, because I got to go get ready for my interview and shit.
All right, good luck.
Good luck.
Unfortunately,
thank you.
I'm truly wishing you good luck on this one. All right, get out of here.
Bring back the bacon.
I pushed him out. Look at that. You want to say, oh, he's out already. He's out on his own. He's on. Now, why are you on my side?
I was just saying, look at that. The children are growing up and moving out, Matt. We're going to be empty nesters.
I know. The kids are all going off to school.
We're going to be empty nesters. What are we going to do? Well, now we can fuck like bunnies because the children are out the house.
I'm not interested. You know what? My tip is ripping. My rip is tipping. Also, my tip are ripping, tipping.
It's funny when I went to the doctor about that. His first reaction was, literally his first general reaction. I told him, he says, "Why?" You know, they say, "Why are we here?" Well, you're here because you're getting paid. I'm here because I'm in pain. So that's why we are here. And he says, "What's going on? What's going on down there?" And I told him, and he goes, "My God, how big does it get? I need to see this." And I said, "You know how hard it is for me to get an erection on demand for another man? It's hard. Okay, it's very difficult."
Wow. So stop! Get out of my face! I got Robert F. Kennedy in my face talking about heroin. Because I reposted. Nobody believed me when I told them he said this stuff. In the video I posted on Facebook yesterday, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying, "I was at the bottom of my class. I was failing, and then I started doing heroin, and I went to the top of my class." And it seems like he's endorsing heroin for all students. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
I think you misinterpreted it. I think what happened, and I could be wrong because I didn't see the quote, but I'm thinking what he meant was I started doing heroin, like he started selling it to the other students. Their grades dropped so bad that his didn't have to change. He moved to the top of the class because they all went to F's, and he got to be the top of the class with a D.
Wow, maybe I misinterpreted the whole clip. Maybe
I didn't see it. I mean, this is just me spitballing here. Like I work for 23andMe. I'm just spitballing.
Let's see.
Now this is one of the things
the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly, I could sit still and I could read.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
He couldn't read, but then he did heroin and he could read.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever been around people doing heroin?
My sister.
And did she look like she could read?
Well, the thing is, my sister actually had a higher IQ than I had. And she was very, very smart. And so the heroin kind of calmed her mind. It kept her still. But then it also made her a junkie.
Right, but everybody I've been around, and not like I spend a lot of time hanging around heroin users, but I have been around a few, and they always look like they were about to nod off. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine reading when you're falling asleep. And would you retain any of it anyway? You read a paragraph and then you would totally not. It's hard enough to keep them awake, jiggling them.
Well,
They're just
let's propose this in this way. Let's say the average person's attention span, is let's say is at 50, or their calmness is at a 50, and he was or they're manic. They're manic. They're people because we all have like a manic side. So let's say the average person, a good manic is 50, and he was at like 100, so he couldn't sit still, and the heroin brought him down to like 45.
Yeah.
So he could still function. He just was, and then he could pay attention.
It could still function, but then he's still going to fall asleep. I mean, as far as I know, if you're having sleeping problems, maybe.
And we don't know how much heroin, we don't know how much heroin he was taking in a dose. I don't know. I'm not advocating this at all. I'm just trying to make logical sense out of the statement, which is one of the flaws.
If you're listening, do not do heroin. And
Right.
so it's most people don't kick it. Most people don't get off it. Once you get on it, you're gonna die from it.
My sister, she had to keep a vomit can under the bed, so that she could puke.
Wow.
Yeah. She was. She lost a lot of weight. She was a fucking mess.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do, I would think cocaine would help. I'm not endorsing cocaine either, but I'm thinking if you're having trouble in school, I don't know. What do I know? Heroin just seems like downtown. Anyway, so there he is. At least the people who said I was lying about, in fact, know for a fact. You hear, yeah, I don't think AI could do that to his voice. I just don't. And make it all sink and look like it's in a real interview, and he actually said those things that was.
There's deep fakes, and then there's deep fakes, and I can't afford deep fakes. I can't afford a deep fake. Yeah. I don't even try. As a matter of fact, most of my the shallow fake. I thought he was an actor. Wasn't that the guy who played Bob Dylan? Shallow fake.
Oh. Yeah, I still haven't seen the Bob Dylan movie. I want to see that. I should have.
Well, it's being streamed right now, so you can see it.
It's on like Hulu, right, or something.
I don't know because I'm not interested. I just see it in my feed. I'm not.
How are you not interested in the greatest songwriter who ever lived?
Because it's not about me.
Oh.
It's about some guy named Bob Dylan.
I know Dylan is acquired taste, maybe, and there are a lot of people who just don't get him. But to me, he definitely, I don't know, he's iconic, and I know that word is overused, but he's a guy who changed lyrical writing in a lot of ways. Before going back to pop music, in the 1960s, when Like a Rolling Stone came out, that changed the possibility. First of all, there were never a 45 that was more than 3.5 minutes long. Generally, they wanted to keep it under 3 minutes and 10 seconds for sound quality. Right. That was like eight minutes on a 45. I think you had to flip it over. I'm not sure, but and the amount of the kind of lyrics, like obscure, artsy lyrics, it just changed everybody's mind about the possibilities of what could be done. So I don't know. I hold Dylan in a lot of esteem just because of what he created for other people. Aside from his own body of work, a lot of people who you might like and not know that they were incredibly influenced by Bob Dylan's work. So I give him that. I don't know.
I know I was influenced by Bob Dylan in the sense that I used to imitate his voice for other people. But that's it. and then when Tom Petty came around, I thought he's still in my gig. He's still in my.
There's a whole thing on YouTube about people rock stars who were imitating Bob Dylan. They had John Lennon. I mean, they had lots of people where you could see it's an obvious homage to Dylan's nasally singing style. So and so many of them did it.
I mean, the first, I remember there was some, I used to like some Bob Dylan. I'm not like, I can't be called a Dylan fan, but I did like quite a bit of his stuff. But to be honest, the one thing of his that I liked the best was actually not because it was a song, because the way he did the video with the little cards. I have no idea what the words are.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I saw that being done in like 5, 6, 7 other videos. And even in like comedy things, it's like, that's,
yeah, that was that was like an early music video. I think it was, it wasn't, there was no such thing as music video. It was a little short film he did, Positively 4th Street stuff. But yeah, he was a groundbreaker in a lot of ways. The thing that's really interesting about when Dylan went electric, and this is so fucking bizarre, is that he was selling out arenas so people could buy tickets and walk out on him in protest. So they would spend money to see a show and then walk out and not see the show, and that was their way of like. Do you really think that was hurting him? Like you were selling out every seat in the arena just so that people could come in and walk out as he would start to play electric. I don't think that's the problem. I'm going to just put money in your pocket. Yeah. Here you go. I really want you to stop what you're doing. Here's more money. Here's more money. Here's more money. Wow. Strange phenomenon.
I wish that I had that kind of thing, that people just buy my tickets and,
right. Just to walk out.
Yeah. But I want them to show up and walk out, not buy tickets and not show up.
That right, they did do that. That's the other thing. Like because they figured that walking out was going to be the protest. Like I don't know. If you were going to do that, just don't go. I don't know. It's just weird. And it plays to an empty room.
I've had, this is early when I was doing comedy. I had 6 people walk out, 6 bikers walk out during my first joke, and they didn't even wait till they walked out during the setup because they misunderstood the premise. Because this was during a time when there's all the trouble in Ferguson, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And so I started off by saying, I wanted to start off by talking about Ferguson, and they started to get up and walk out. Now the actual joke is that I can't do the actual joke because I'll fuck it up, because it's been like 9 years since I've told it. But the premise is that when I was in school, people couldn't get my last name right, and they were always calling me Ferguson. And so that was, I know, teachers, they wouldn't read it. They would just see the F-E and the S-O-N and be like Ferguson, and they wouldn't read the name. So that happened like all through elementary school and even into some junior high. And so when I said, I want to talk about Ferguson, and they got up and they walked out. And the only thing I was going to talk about says, and then that says, I am so sick and tired of Ferguson. It's Fenderson, Fenderson, not Ferguson, not Anderson, not Henderson. And that was what I did. It's something like that. But they walked out. They never got to hear the rest of it. And the people were laughing, part of it because they saw them walk out when I said Ferguson. And so we all figured it, it was because of the town and that shit. And for me to come up with it had nothing to do with the town, it was my name. And that's why I'm sick of Ferguson. No.
My mind is just going back to Ferguson. There was a time when there was this guy, I think his name was Lyle. I don't remember his first name. I just remember Ferguson. He shot up a subway train. He brought automatic weapons onto a subway train and shot it up. He was subdued and went on trial, and he acted as his own lawyer, and he kept asking the witnesses. So when Ferguson was pointing at you, and the guy like, "You mean you were pointing at me?" But he just kept talking about himself in the third person as he's doing his own lawyer stuff. He was fucking deranged as can be. I think I don't know if he got the death penalty, and I don't think that was on the table. I wonder if he's still alive. Ferguson. That's all I'm thinking. Every time I hear you say Ferguson, not Ferguson, Missouri. Ferguson, the guy on the train, the little wacky, and that was right around the time I think OJ. That was like the early '90s, '93 maybe, if I have that right. Should look that up.
I have like a lot of stuff to edit for my stuff, and I want to get out to my Social Security. I have a Social Security branch near my home, like 6 or 7 miles from my house, and I want to go over there because I haven't heard any protest about it at all. No protesters. Like I said, I live in a very conservative town, so I don't know. You will see Trump supporters before you see reasonable people where I live protesting. And I think if I go over to start a protest by myself, being like the lone black in this neighborhood, it's like
not a good look.
It's like the time as a joke. As a joke, I did a protest in a town called Tawnytown near here. And I stood in the park with a sign, and it said, "Black Life Matters." I was the only one there, and so
somebody. I got a petition to do a show with somebody who wants to do Black Health Matters. It's the name of her book. I guess I don't know. She's a white person who wants to do a show on the subject of Black Health Matters. Like, I don't think I want all the flack that's going to come with that. With the all health matters.
How? Oh, okay, yeah.
All health matters. I just don't. I'm tired of fucking fighting with these people. Like, all right. You have your opinions, I have mine. You go your way, I'll go my way. 1993, Long Island Railroad shooting. It wasn't the subway, it was the Long Island Railroad. Colin Ferguson, December 7th, 1993. He killed 30 people on the train. And then acted as his own lawyer. What a weird... yeah, so it looks like he's still alive. Still alive in prison. All right. Fuck him. I wonder, has he been raped? Has he been raped in prison? And if not, why not?
Well, I have some like semi good news on the personal front. It's semi in the sense that you ever not care about something until something happens and all of a sudden, oh, maybe I'll care about, like, I never really cared about my followers and stuff like that. I never, kept track of the numbers. I didn't care. And then Facebook sent me a message about my SoGD Funny account, maybe. Well, it could have been the Reverend's account. And it says that we can start recommending you. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that you were not recommending me. And the same thing with like something else. They sent me a note saying we can start recommending you now. I didn't do anything different. It's not like I
think you kind of have to play to the algorithm's liking before any of these things start recommending you. So
yeah, but I didn't do any. I haven't done anything different.
I think you have.
Huh?
I think you have. I think you started posting more shorts than you, and I don't mean your underwear. I mean more shorts than you used to.
Well, yeah, I did that mainly for the New York show.
But yeah, but I think so. If you start posting those kind of stuff directly to the platform rather than like on one platform and linking it to another, like if you posted it on YouTube and did it to Facebook.
Yeah, I was. I started because I was doing shorts on TikTok and then sharing them to Facebook, and then I just started creating reels. Well, actually, not creating, taking the same reel and uploading it directly to Facebook. I did start doing that.
That's what they like. That's what they like. Well, uploading but put it on our platform, and we'll like you better. We'll recommend you better.
I didn't think of it that way. Like I said, because in my mind, I wasn't doing anything different. One thing that I did notice, before we did the show in New York, before the Giggle Room, I had a certain pattern. I was getting so many followers per week. I was getting so many views per, basically for critical joke theory. That was the main thing I was putting on TikTok. I put like 12 to 13 episodes or clips on TikTok a week. And it was everything I could predict. I could say to my wife, I knew exactly how many, I knew I was going to get so many likes, so many new followers, so many views. That was normal. And then we decided to do the Giggle Room. And so I started putting different shorts on there, a lot of comedy shorts to try to promote it. That is over with. I'm not promoting the comedy shorts anymore. They are not pushing my critical joke theory like they used to. It's like down to like 7 views and 1 like and no new followers. You know, they just like, they're punishing me because I'm not putting comedy stuff up there. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. All these algorithms are different, but for all the people watching on Twitter today, I appreciate you being over there, but we don't make anything if you're on Twitter. Come and visit us on YouTube sometime. That would be nice. And leave some comments. You know what? I talked about negative comments and all that stuff. You're free to leave negative comments, positive comments, whatever. But, you know, if you got some thoughts on any of the stuff that we've talked about today, I don't know what we talked about today, but if you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear.
We talked about Richard Chamberlain canceling the show for the 3rd or the 2nd. Because Richard Chamberlain was supposed to have been our guest for April 2nd, Wednesday.
Yeah. We have no guests until Friday scheduled this week. I don't know where I slacked off on this. I slacked off when I whacked off. I don't know.
I reached out to a couple of people who have, well, I don't mind. I'll like a friend of, I'm going to say a friend, but we've never met. A guy named Trevor Build, and he has something called Knob TV, and it's on Roku, but it's also on YouTube. And most of his things are music. You know, most of his shows are music shows, music videos, musicians, and stuff like that. He has 2 comedy things on his Roku channel. One is mine, Dumb Way Past Funny, and the other one is another friend of mine who I recommended to him, Comments on Life. So I reached out to him, and he and his wife gave me the thumbs up and said they're going to look into it for this week, because I said we have openings availability on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
All right.
I mean, I reached out to a bunch of people, but he was the only one who actually got back to me like instantly. He was like, "Sounds good. I like this. Let me talk to my wife."
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. When is Easter? Easter's coming up, right? No, it's not until the end of the month. The 20th.
Yeah, it's April.
20th, 420.
Yeah.
420 Easter.
So we can get high and then eat the. Why are we looking at Media Espresso footage?
Yeah.
Is that me? Did I do that? I did do that.
Did what?
Okay, I have this thing that's been. I have this app that keeps trying to open up. It keeps putting its logo or its thumbnail, whatever it is, its desktop icon over top of whatever I'm doing, and it keeps doing it like it's doing it on here. And I accidentally must have rubbed my cursor on it, and so it opened up, and I thought it was something you were doing because it opened up like right in the middle of the screen where we are.
Like this? Oh, right. Oh,
yeah, like
that's mushroom coffee. That's what I forgot. I never pursued this. Did it once as a sponsor. Rise mushroom stuff. I think the link's still in the description, but I don't know. Mushroom coffee.
They should send me a sample. I mean, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'll try.
I'm going to send you a stool sample.
I have. Speaking of stool samples, see, I've been sitting on a drum stool for quite some time. Look at this. This is look what I've done to my drum stool.
Wow.
Yeah. I have 2 choices. I can recover it, or I can buy a new one. What does the audience think?
Get so high on Easter, you'll think you were resurrected. That comes from Evil Ian. Oh, now you know why he calls you.
Hey there, I've been under Glenn's ass for so long, I can't take it.
The good book has become a stool. Or whatever. I just we should wrap this up. I just want to mention something that kind of hit me. They're making Mel the Bigot Gibson, Mel the Bigot Gibson, remake of the Passion of Christ. I think it's like 30 years old now from the original, right? But the original guy that doofus, the MAGA guy, who played Christ in the first one, is also playing Christ in the remake. Now,
Isn't he going to be old?
30 years, right? So he's got to be. So Jesus was 33. He died. He died. He was dead for 3 days and got resurrected as an old man. Is that how?
Well, death changes you. Death changes a person. I don't know about you, Matt, but the last time I was dead
I
for
don't know.
3
It didn't
days.
change Lazarus. Lazarus was dead for a couple of days, right? And he came back looking pretty much himself.
No, that's true. That's true. Although, no, that's true. That's true.
I don't know what. Maybe I would have recast it, or I don't know if they're going to try to do some of that stuff like in The Irishman, where they made.
Is he playing Jesus or is he playing his father? Is he playing Jesus or not Joseph, but God? No, is he playing Joseph?
I don't know. It's just very weird to me. A weird kind of thing. How they're going to try to say, well, it was only 3 days. Whoa, Jesus. Jesus.
Jesus, you're old.
Yeah.
All
right.
I was talking to my wife about the thing that you're saying about the not slapsticks. Is it slapsticks? Slapsticks, right? Is that the comedy club you're talking about, slapsticks?
Huh?
Were you talking about? Is it slapsticks? Is that the name of the club you were talking about earlier?
No.
The one that Abby has. Sticks and Stones. That's it. Sticks and Stones.
Sticks and Stones.
Sticks and Stones.
Call it slapsticks? Oh,
yeah, because there were sticks in there. There were sticks in there.
Yeah, sticks. Fish sticks.
Yeah. So, is this, you were talking about something happening over there? Is that something you're going to share publicly, or you're going to send us like little text or something?
Well, I owe Abby. I got to get to work on some stuff for her. But yeah, I will gladly say Sticks and Stones is a comedy club run by the founder of the Hamptons Comedy Festival. And she's, we've had some great people on because she got them on the show. She will be, I think she said, because I mentioned to her, Jason, like, why don't you hook her up when we hook this up and get Jason out there? And she's supposed to have Jackie out there for the summer Hampton Comedy Festival and all that stuff. So it looks like she said to me, I worked with Jason years ago out in Hollywood. He's a great guy. Did he remember me? I said, oh, yeah, he remembers you finally. I lied. I lied a little bit. He didn't say whether he remembered her or not. But so it appears that she's eager to have him out there for the Hampton Comedy Festival. And so maybe I'm just thinking, because he asked me if I wanted to be on the bill with him. I was like, I'm not a stand-up guy. I'm a sit down, hide in the back of the corner guy. But GD and Ron are available.
I'm surprised. See, now, remember I was telling you about the other day, there's a comedian, this person from Hollywood was telling me that when he was in Hollywood, it was good to have smoke blowing up your ass. And then he started complimenting me like way beyond the compliments I thought I deserved. And I was wondering why I was being smoke blown up my ass. Jason is another one of those people who says all these wonderful things about me. And he has this. He reaches out to you to perform with him, and not to me.
Because I don't think it was he was reaching out to me. It was that I was hooking him up with this opportunity, and he was like throwing me a bone for actually hooking him up. I think that's what it was more. It wasn't like I think
he still should have thought of me. Either that, or he doesn't think I'm as funny.
Well, I think he will. That's what I think he will, and I thought it was worth mentioning. So that's why I mentioned it to you. I think it would be good for both you and Ron to try to be on that, and maybe he should mention you on that and try to put that, tag along, throw some grace my guy's way. Now, I did not mention Stephen because
he has a long way to haul.
Yeah.
It's a
Not just that. It's the ramp thing. I like Steven, but I feel bad for anybody in a wheelchair who is doing comedy. But if the clubs are not prepared for that, having a guy off stage sit in the chair, that doesn't. It's really it's hard. It makes it hard on them, and so it almost sounds like I'm being discriminatory now. I would love for the clubs to have access, but if a club doesn't have access, I don't want to put him in a no-win situation.
No, there was a venue that I used to. There was a venue that I really liked in Frederick. I'm not gonna mention the name now because the ownership is a real dick, real fucking dick. But I loved the venue. I didn't like the parking arrangements because it was like street parking, no parking lot, and so street parking is a bitch for a comedy club because if you're trying to get like 100, 200 people in a place and it's street parking, you could be like a half a mile away and then trying to it's terrible. No parking lot nearby. But
here's this. I'm sorry to interrupt this, but you've been selected to be in a Google ad. This comes from my IMDb page. You've been selected to appear in a Google ad. The pay is $25,000. Contact me today. Is that a scam? That's got to be a scam.
Oh yeah, because it probably only cost you $500 to get the information
for Google ad. Well, yeah, that's probably what it is, right? They're going to make me pay for the info to audition. It says I've been selected. Doesn't say I need to audition for it. No, if you see my IMDb page, there's nothing there to. Maybe they're just looking for a guy who looks like Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx reboot, or the G. Gordon Liddy story.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a Google. Now I'm thinking it's a Google television, an ad for Google on television, right? That's not a Google ad, like an ad on Google. Nobody's gonna.
See, I was thinking like Google products, like on television. Yeah, I didn't think it was like an ad on Google, but
right. All right, so let me get to work for Abby so I can get this thing happening. So I get some bonus points and maybe can make things happen for you guys. I think you guys should be part of this Hamptons Comedy Festival this summer, and maybe some good things will be happening. So that's enough for the publicness stuff.
Abby is going to be on my Done Way Past Funny show, and actually,
she is.
Yeah.
She's not a comedian.
No, it doesn't matter. She's in the industry. See, that's just it. Not everybody on Done Way Past Funny is a comedian. I mean, Alan Katz was a writer. He's not a stand-up comedian.
All right. Right. Now, Alan Katz thing has that been done?
And remember, you were on the show, and you weren't a comedian, but I got you because you're a comedian adjacent.
You know what? I remember when I was on your little show there. We were talking about the day I showed up to a gig stinking, and in my Facebook memories that came up, the woman who had her head on my shoulder, and I'm knowing that I stink. I stink at that moment, and she's not making a face like I stink, but then. Her husband was really jealous, and he was yelling and giving a finger in his face. And I was telling Mikey, I could tell what she's saying. Her comeback is, "I wouldn't fuck him anyway. He stinks." Yes, I did stink. And when I say stink, I don't mean the music stink. I mean I stink.
Yes, it's Don't Way Past Funny. We interview people who are in the business and in the business of comedy. So
did you do the Alan Katz thing yet? Have you done that?
I've recorded the Alan Katz thing, and I'm right now editing Tate Griffin. He's a former professional wrestler, but he's also a comedian now. He's a professional wrestler for 20 years, and he's been doing comedy for 10 years. And so I just interviewed him, and
the fact that I never heard of him is not indicative of his success or non-success in wrestling.
Right.
As most wrestlers I've never heard of, except the biggest names in wrestling: John Cena, the Hulk Hogan. Those people, of course, I've heard of them, but I wouldn't have Most of them I don't know the name. So.
Yeah, but wrestling also, it's like baseball. They have the minor leagues, the majors, and I don't think he was basically in the minor leagues, but he did have an occasional brush with the majors.
Does he admit to being gay?
No.
I had the author of the Rowdy Armstrong gay wrestling novels on, and we were talking about it because we, the oiling up, the tight shorts where you could see your dick in it. It's all so homoerotic. Both, and he's very gay, David Monson, who wrote the book. And I just like, it's pretty apparent that all these guys are really just. They would if it wasn't about homoerotica, they would just wrestle like amateur wrestlers in the one suit overall.
They'd wear togas.
Yeah, whatever. They wouldn't be all that oiled up. Look at my dick in the tightest briefs you could possibly.
Well,
get.
in fairness, not a lot of them have a lot of dick to show. I mean, when I was a kid, and I used to watch wrestling, I didn't even realize they had dicks.
Is that the effect of steroids making the dick smaller? Is that?
I don't know because I don't know enough about steroids.
Or do they tuck? They tuck.
Now that is possible that they tape and tuck.
Tape and tuck. I don't know. Well, that would be a good question. Oh, what is this? Somebody replying. Yes, they tape. This is on Twitter. All right, maybe.
Okay. Now, who wrote that? Are they a wrestler, or are they just someone whose job it is to tape it down?
Chet Liftkit. Again, all these fucking people on Twitter. Use your fucking real name. They should make it a law that you can't. If you have a social media account, you have to use your real name and be able to prove it. So you can't hide behind fucking nonsense. I mean, stop hiding. You don't think that's cowardly? To just come and hide under your mother's skirt and type away stuff and no accountability at all. Sorry, Twitter. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at all you fake people. All right, let's get out of here. You want to get out of here?
Yeah. Oh, well, no. Right. This is one last question, honest, for real, and then we can go. The Reverend's choir performed Sunday. I heard. Yeah. What did you think of their performance? I didn't hear it. No.
If you want to know,
you probably weren't paying attention.
No, I was paying attention. I couldn't help but notice that the bass line was not doing it right, and that was bothering me. because it's one note, but it's boom boom boom boom boom boom boom, and he would just boom boom boom boom boom. I was like, wow, no, can you? It's
it wasn't boom boom boom. He did it. No, he actually did it right. It was probably maybe the mixing, maybe.
Maybe
I know the bass line was done right.
Doing one like half notes. I was like, wait, no, that's bum bum bum bum. I was like, I was getting so angry at it. I just wanted.
No, because believe me, that bass line was actually the hardest part to get right. The bass line, because it's not the whole song. It's really simple. Musically, it's simple, but each one has like its own rhythm. Each part has its own rhythm, and the bass line, again, has its own rhythm, but it seems counter to like everything else.
Yeah. I definitely get that. I have seen a band where the lead singer was the bass player trying to do that very simple bass line, but sing his stuff and just couldn't do it. You just could not do it right. You could tell his hands were trying to do what his mouth was doing or something.
Yeah, because I've tried to do it. Actually, I've covered it live. Just me and in the guitar, and the hardest part is I realized I was doing the rhythm of the guitar wrong because I was trying to do it like the bass line. And I was doing the guitar rhythm wrong.
Yeah. We got to live. That's the hardest part, is to shout. We got to live together and get it without shouting too loud, without going too over the top.
And over modulating too.
Yeah. Yeah, because everybody wants to do it from the belly and just totally blow the microphone out on that thing.
Yeah.
So watch the show, folks. Go back and watch yesterday's church, and let us know your thoughts about it. So until then, tomorrow our guests will be Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, and Jon Stewart. We'll try to squeeze them all in, so don't forget to tune in then. And then in the meantime, don't forget to turn on your radio. Have a great day. Bye for now.
listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.